Bev.
Okay, thank you. All right, so good morning. It is November 20th, 2025, 11:41, and this is the Capital Improvement Committee. And we are here with Dave and Nicole, and Joy is running a bit late, but she'll hop
She's
in
on her way.
here. Yeah, she's printing us some things that we need. So we can stand and do the pledge. Are you ready?
11:41. I have to take the notes.
Yes, thank you.
Here's our phone.
Here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, so we do not have alternates unless, Nicole, are you here to be our new member?
Not quite yet, but I definitely want to attend.
All
Just
right.
because I'm overwhelmed with all the other stuff.
Yeah, right?
I feel a lot more extra meetings coming on.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
Right.
That's a great one.
Yay! We just started it. We just finished the Pledge of Allegiance. We were about to do like the roll call elevation of alternates, and we don't have any, so.
Trying to convince
So
Nicole
now-
to join.
Still need more time to unpack the chairs.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you for printing out all that stuff and getting it ready for us.
Videographer is Evan Walsh. There we go. Video. Okay.
So approval of minutes, they looked fine to me.
I reviewed them as well, they look good to me, so I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, second,
Second. All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Okay. So the meeting minutes from the November 6th meeting have been approved.
And then,
I'll make sure Linda gets those minutes.
thank you.
Gray, motion. Shelley, second. Unanimous.
And so public comment, you just wanna listen and
Yep.
chime in? Okay, awesome. That's fine. If you have anything to say, just,
I'd love a
That's
copy of whatever you're looking at today, if you have it, but if not, at some point.
I have an extra
Oh.
copy, actually I think I have 2 extra copies of the updated CIP,
Oh, good.
all of the details from the fabulous Dave Swift.
Did you bring a stapler with you?
I did,
Thank you.
because again, I was, oh wait, somebody might be missing a page 6. No, that's good.
I have my old copies too.
I was updating like crazy this morning, so.
Thank you. I know it's a lot.
So I apologize, it's on smaller paper, the largest I have at home is this.
Okay.
This works.
This works this way.
And we're getting all of these numbers in and these edits because Sharon and Joy are helping the department heads with what we need to get this updated the way that we want it. So they've been working behind the scenes, having those meetings, and then also Joy is in control of this, so she's updating it. Yeah.
So we have version control.
Yeah, we have all of these different versions, and it started with the draft that she was keeping.
Thank you.
That you probably have a copy of, because you're on the select board. So in our last meeting, we met with DPW Director Shackford and Mr. Swift
As
and
fleet manager.
fleet manager, yes. And they gave us their update, and then Sharon, you were able to meet with them? Do you wanna
Yes,
give them-
I guess it was just about a week ago that we sat down and met. And more what I did is instead of, walking or plugging numbers in and plugging information in, was talk to them about the type of information that we're looking for with regard to, especially the templates, because the templates are crucial. You know, the vehicle if you want to replace a vehicle in the CIP, it's a single line, but the template will help us understand the requirement for the vehicle, the type of vehicle, you know, other information all on one sheet as a planning tool going forward. And I think, you know, and Dave and Josh, we talked about not necessarily, it's not logistics, it's the you know, the benefits and some of the requirements and what the effort is to, you know, and to update all these and have that balance out a bit, to figure out how it's not so onerous on them, but still gives us and the Board of Selectmen, because the Board of Selectmen are going to make the ultimate decision, gives them the ability to make a decision, you know, from at least initially from those sheets. And so they were very receptive and very helpful. I'm hoping that I was helpful to them. And then I know Dave just submitted to us, or sent to you and to Joy, and then you forwarded to me, because he lost my email address. I'm kidding.
I did.
I sent you back an email this morning. I don't know if you saw it. But
On my personal email?
oh yeah, because that whatever one you sent the information from, I sent it on that and said, you know, here, just so you can have my email address. But he updated those sheets. I looked at the first one, but I haven't had a chance to go through all of them. But I think we can do that and then maybe make some additional comments, and
I did get it.
we won't have to drag poor Dave here for another meeting, and can just send the comments back to them and have them update the sheets.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does Dave, do you have any comments that you wanna?
I have not gotten as far as I wanted to with the sheets. And a couple of things that you had asked for was, I thought maybe giving it was asked for pictures on the CIP analysis sheet of the equipment. And for some reason, the heavy-duty rolling stock, the grader, the loaders, the excavators didn't come through, and I'll have to forward those to you when I can get them. I do have the pictures.
Oh, you might have met your megabyte.
I think, and that's why I sent them in 3 different emails, so
Yeah.
I couldn't get the file all in one email.
Well, thank you for taking those and sending them over. It's helpful
And-
because we're not necessarily truck people. I mean, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not truck people.
A little bit.
No,
But-
understandable,
a
it's all
little
right.
Yeah, so just
and-
having that visual is good.
And I don't know if you saw my email, but I was combining the fleet report that you guys provided earlier in the year with Dave's pictures. And,
Okay, no, I understand.
yeah, so we kind of see all the information together.
Okay,
too.
yeah, okay, good, good.
I don't know if you have the Word doc version of that.
I
fleet
do,
report.
I do.
That way I can just copy and paste that text directly into this and they're all together.
Along with that, I sent the sources of where I was gathering
Right.
figures from. There's a couple of them that I use more than the others, but they were all very helpful, and there's a lot of reading, but it kind of gives us a direction. You sent me an email this morning?
Me?
No,
Joy?
I could have been when
to the town, my town
I,
email?
no,
or
I replied to.
Or my personal?
Yeah, I replied to.
Oh, reply to the
Yeah,
template update?
I'm not, well,
Nine
maybe,
43 this morning.
um,
Let me make sure.
no, I
But
didn't.
anyway, it's not a priority, it's
Okay.
just asking for that. Yeah.
So it's still somewhat of a work in progress. I'm trying to look for a little bit more direction this morning and try to nail this for you. Honestly, it's a really busy time of the year for me, and I have 2 full-time jobs, so I do a lot of this at home. I wanted to clear up one on the CIP, on the spreadsheet for the CIP.
Okay.
And Sharon, you touched on it last night, and it's in reference to truck 11. When that truck was purchased, it was a tractor-trailer truck. And it was purchased, the trailer was a roll-off trailer, and that was going to be used for the transfer station, but that was before we started hauling. And the previous director required, we all have CDLB, commercial licenses that allows us to drive this equipment. Tractor trailer requires a CDLA or tractor trailer license, and two of us, myself and Dylan Eldridge, got our CDLAs to run that truck. And quite literally the day I passed my exam up north, John Sear said, "We're taking the trailer off, take the plates off, taking the insurance off." And he bought the red roll-off that we have, straight truck, okay? And he turned truck 11 into, he found a used dump body for it, and then we sent it to HP Fairfield to have new plows put on it. So that's the confusion there. Yes, it does show on the CIP spreadsheet that it's a tractor trailer, but it's actually a six-wheel dump truck. Now, if everything goes well with the grant, that truck will have to be destroyed. But that doesn't mean we can't take the plows off, the plow frames off. They're 3 years old. It's got a flatbed body on it that we can take off. It's the truck and chassis that needs to be destroid,
Right,
not the equipment that's on
nothing,
it.
right.
So there's
Anything you can salvage.
anything we can salvage. So there's been some confusion around that.
So, but my concern not concern, my question last night is, it shows that it's at the transfer station.
Yeah, it's
Should-
not. It's
Right,
not
we
sitting
should
right
move
here.
that up into
Okay.
the,
I just
Yeah.
updated it.
yeah, okay, into
Yeah.
DPW equipment. And is there anything that moved down to replace it? Is there anything that moved out of the DPW highway equipment? You know, like the lemon truck or anything? No, the lemon truck
No.
we use for plowing.
No,
So we didn't replace this 2005 Peterbilt
no.
with anything. So they're
Well,
down to
well,
truck.
yes, the red Kenworth roll-off truck.
Okay.
It was used.
So,
That was purchased out of South Portland.
so this, the Blue Western Star six-wheeled roll-off truck,
That's the new one that we got. It's been in
Okay.
service just over a year.
where's the red one? It's
That
not
was
on.
traded. That was traded in. That was the Kenworth That was truck number 6. It's a Kenworth T800,
Okay, so-
2013, I think it
Well,
was.
that might show up in my traded in.
But it was traded. They gave us $40,000 for that, and that was traded onto the new roll-off truck that we have now.
Okay,
Yeah, that's hidden because I'm not showing traded in.
right.
I've
No,
kept
no,
it in
no, it's-
iWork just for
But
keeping it there,
shows
but
over here an expected offset, right, the 40,000.
yeah.
I think.
Let's see. So that was, Dave is saying that the 2011 Kentworth that we sold was used as a $40,000
Trade.
Trade-in,
trade-in for the newer one.
right, the 2023.
Yes.
But I put in Dave's information that he gave us, so that $40,000 is an offset for purchasing a new one in 2034.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. Thank you.
Wait. That 40,000 is an offset for purchasing a new one in 2034. How is that possible? We don't have that $40,000 anymore.
No, it would be, I think that's Dave's estimate for what we would
What
get
this
when we
blue
trade
one would
in.
be worth.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah,
it's going to be worth more than that, but I'm erring on the light side because you don't know.
Right. Yeah, okay.
And
So that 40,000 has nothing to do with the red truck.
no, it does has nothing to do with it. Yeah.
I have a question from Allowed. I know I'm late to the game, so my apologies. I'm just these years,
Which years? There's
All
3
of them?
columns with
the
years.
replacement years.
Mhm.
I just want to backtrack a little on everything we own has extremely low miles because most heavy duty trucks go for 400,000 and 500,000 miles, and then we have years for like the grader was 600 and something thousand, and we're replacing it in 10 years, and our old grader we had for 40 years.
We don't have to, and
That's why I don't like.
we-
These are scary. This is not.
I understand that.
That's why I want some
Number one,
clarification.
understand, these are not concrete.
Okay, just checking.
This is still a really big draft
Yeah.
document.
Okay.
We will get to whether or not those years are, we're
Right.
just trying to make sure we've got everything.
Everything
And we
is
have as much
included. Okay,
information
just
in as
checking.
possible. So
Right.
those
What?
years will get discussed
Right.
as to whether or not. But also realize it's not always just the mileage, it's the hours on those engines.
Yeah, there's some
the-
hours I see.
Right,
there,
and so it's a combination of
Yeah.
things, and the terrain that they're being used on, that kind of thing. So something that may have lower mileage may get replaced first because of the abuse it has taken on our roads.
Right. No, I understand. I do
Exactly.
work in heavy equipment with stuff like that, and I am in charge of selling some of it. So.
So in when I did that, just as an example, and I did it on some other equipment on the CIP analysis. The dealer, the Caterpillar dealer said, what towns in New Hampshire are doing is they're keeping their graders 10 years and trading them, because that's where that machine starts to really go down in value.
That's the break-even point.
It's
so
the
to speak.
break-even point, and that machine will probably trade for $180,000.
Which is
somewhere
nothing
around
compared to
there.
615.
Well, they're going up, and they're going
Yeah.
up in a big, big way. But that doesn't mean that grader can't go 20 years.
Right.
It can,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna be here, and probably none of us will, but in 20 years, you don't wanna be back in that boat.
I will.
You don't wanna be back in that boat again of,
Yeah.
of,
No, that's why we were
Have
discussing
it.
saving a little bit more towards all of these things.
Right, and that's, I think, is, as you get past the
Combination.
first 5 years of having it,
Yeah.
that's when a reevaluation should get done, to take a
Exactly.
look at it and see, does it still make sense to have a 10-year replacement?
Right.
No? Okay, then let's adjust that replacement time frame to 15 years and see,
Yeah.
and then continue at the 10-year mark but we're continuing to save and add a little to the CIP every year in order so that when we get to it being replaced, and if we make the decision at year 17 that that's when it's going to be replaced, that we have you're not going to ever have all the money, but we'll have some money plus the trade-in value plus the money we've saved, so that now a $600,000 machine only costs the town $100,000
Right.
or
That's-
$150,000
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
Right.
But you get the principle.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm on board with,
Yeah.
for sure.
There's only two other pieces of equipment. One we stretched out to 20 years, and the
Yeah.
truck is already 10 years old. But
Right.
it's the big wheeler, the 10-wheel dump
Yeah,
truck.
yeah.
And I stretched that out to 20 years, and I think the roll-off, I put it out to 10 or 12 years, because that truck's gonna have hundreds of thousands of miles. I've got 50,000 on it now, and run it for 1 year.
Right, and you can
45, yeah.
easily do the trips
Yeah,
and
yeah,
times,
yeah.
however many times a week and
Yeah,
stuff,
so,
and factor it out, yeah.
um,
One of
But
the
that
other
could be
things
changed.
we talked about in the last meeting, Dave, I don't mean to cut you off, was adding the plows to this, because the plows become an independent unit that we can move.
I'm going to, yes, and that's gonna be some work in itself. I have to go to each plow set, get the serial numbers off it, all the specs off it. They're not all the same manufacturers. There's like
Can we at least, if you know you have 7 plows, can we at least put 7 lines in the spreadsheet that have the plows and maybe just the year? And as we get serial numbers and things of that nature, we can
I
add them
can
so you
get
know the
that, I
difference
can
between
get that
them.
information put
Yeah,
together.
and for right now, you can just put in parentheses after plow number 1, that it's on the Western Star, the blue Western Star truck number, whatever. And that way, at least we know which plows we're talking about to start with. And as that information gets updated and revised with serial numbers and things of that nature.
Well, what we're using is, for plow numbers, we're using the same number as the truck that it goes on, so.
But then if you move it to a different truck, you're changing the number on the plow.
But if we do that, we're probably trading the truck in for another truck, which would be, if we trade in truck 9, it's gonna be another truck 9. Pretty
But
much.
you might
yeah.
use
Rename
plow
the
9,
Yeah.
but you might, in the time before trying to get it, the plow on truck 5 is really, really old. The plow on truck 9, the truck is older, we're trading the truck in. Now we're gonna move plow 9 to truck 5 and get rid of the plow 5.
It's
That's
just-
like what we just had with the police cars, with me having to
Right,
sit down.
right,
I'm
and,
trying to avoid
and
that.
that's what we are doing with these newer trucks, is they're getting the same plow setups. But
Right.
now the 2 smaller trucks that we're discussing
You can't.
last night, the red
Right.
one and the blue one, we call them the lemon trucks.
The limit.
They take a completely different setup.
Right.
You know, and even those 2 trucks don't have the same plows, it could go one on the other, you know, so.
Right, so that's why I think numbering our plows independently of the truck will allow you and us to track those plows independently as to which one are we getting rid of. Especially as we more standardize all our trucks as we go forward, when you could switch, if something breaks and I still need it, I move that plow to a different truck. It just allows us, from an age standpoint and a usage standpoint, to be able to track them sort of independently.
At our last meeting, Josh mentioned he invested in the sandblaster so that
Yes.
we're gonna make these things last
Yeah, we've been,
in perpetuity,
well,
basically, he said.
it's not.
No, but you know what I mean,
it-
like that was
yeah,
the whole point.
At the end of the winter, they, you know, the paint gets rubbed
Yeah.
off them. And the plow frames on the trucks get kind of rusty, so we sandblast them and repaint them.
Yeah, yeah, but he mentioned
And
like
that
it
was the
was,
whole reason, and that's what they've done,
yeah,
you know, they.
And it looks,
they
usually
just-
rented it.
We had one, that was just ancient,
Yeah.
and it just finally gave up.
Okay.
It just wore out, so,
I mean, there are tens of
I really
thousands.
wasn't in on that. whole-
Right.
I just
They're-
kidding.
you know,
Purchase sometimes.
This was
Well, this
in my way.
This is commercial. so-
Yeah, I know.
Purchase
It might have been commercial, I don't know who gave it to me.
Sharon, you'll see.
You
the
know,
top
we collect
line,
those things in New England.
The description of the capital expense, the usage, purchase planning, so you kind of see which section is doing what.
Oh, yeah, usage, purchase planning. Do we know,
That line was an accent, so that's been removed.
was just a what?
That
Oh,
dark line in between was formatting error, so
oh,
I
yeah.
I
Okay.
saw it and already removed it.
Okay,
And then will we have an updated iWorks rating? I know you gave
I'm
us-
working on that now.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been working on, I've got some invoicing that I need to get in there, and it's gonna change some numbers a little bit. We unfortunately did have a problem with two of our trucks that has been repaired. Were kind of big dollar items, but, in any case, yeah, it's, once I can get that in there, I can update the CIPs and, I'm starting to wrap up some end-of-year stuff that Linda will need.
I was gonna say, it's not like you don't have budget season going on and CIP
Yeah,
and all that kind of
There's
stuff.
some things that are time-sensitive that she needs for budget season and for the transfer station, because there's reports that need to be written for that as well. So
This is much more complete than it was when you came in, so thank you for.
well,
Oh my gosh.
it really isn't,
Really is.
but it's, I've got a little better handle on what the equipment, especially the heavy equipment, the loaders and that kind of thing is, how much they're going up annually is crazy money. But we're in pretty good shape right now as far as that stuff. We're not looking at anything in the near future on excavators or front-end loaders.
It looks like no, there it is. Okay, sorry, I thought I missed it. There's one in here, line 24, I don't know, you don't have it in front of you, but it's a Cat 920 loader with equipment.
The 920, yeah?
Yeah, is that did I accidentally duplicate line 18, that's the Cat 920 front-end loader section?
You mean on the spreadsheet?
Yeah,
Actually, I thought there was one duplicated, but I don't remember now. So you have, it's a 2019 Cat 920, number 18, all right? 2021,
yeah, 2021
and then you
Cat
have another
920.
one in there?
Yeah, and then down in line 24.
Yeah, that is, yep, that's the same.
Duke?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, number 24, so take out one of them.
Thank you.
Actually, I think the price on that line 24, the purchase price is what we paid. In 18, you have what? It's 60, I can follow
Right
that.
up in the-
So does every vehicle have a number? Like we keep referring to truck 11, truck 12?
Yeah, so on the emails that I sent out this morning, of just the trucks, I think there's 10 of them there. Well, in my file, I labeled truck 1, truck 2, truck 3. We don't have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have truck 9, truck 10, truck 11, truck 12. There's no 13, and there's truck 14. But on those pictures, on the file, it said truck 1 and a
Yep.
picture of the truck.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
so-
how, yeah, that's how I
so-
was able to line it up with the
Yeah,
description.
it's just not attached to the CIP analysis form. There's a little box there, and I thought, can I put a picture in there? And I can't. You know,
So
That's all right, because you referenced the year and the model in the
Right.
form, I was
So-
able to,
And then
Yeah.
to the far left on the analysis form, to the far left on line 5, I put the spreadsheet number corresponding to that.
oh, yeah,
Here.
there it is.
Yeah, we added the spreadsheet number, so
Awesome.
that it would be easy to track which one was which when we're talking about these templates.
Anything after 24 has just changed that. Because we just delete, you know, maybe I should have kept it in and just closed it as a dupe,
Mm.
because now the line number's changed, but.
I'm looking at also going back to some of the stuff that's moved from transfer station to DPW, DPW to transfer station. Line number 14 is the 2014 CAT 420F backhoe. It says move to transfer station.
Yeah, so we had we had two backhoes. We had the 416 and the 420. The 416 we put on municipal bid, and that was sold to an outfit out of Texas, and we
Oh, right,
we
that
got
was the
17,000
17,400.
for that.
Yeah,
They need a machine up there, so we really didn't have a choice. We sent the backhoe up there. When we need it, we go up and get it. But they have a need for the machine, so the DPW backhoe, the 420, is now at the transfer station.
and it's at the transfer station full time?
Yeah, we leave it there, and if we need it, we'll go up and get it, so.
Okay,
it's-
so we're
it's-
sharing that backhoe between
Yeah,
the
yeah,
two.
and oftentimes, if we have something going on the north end of town, we'll, instead of bringing the excavator over the road all the way up there, we'll go up and get the backhoe and run it up there.
Okay,
So you said, so that was sold for 17,000?
The 416 was sold for 17.
yeah, the 416 is not even on here, because it's gone.
It is, it's
Is-
on line 34, well, not line 35.
So that machine was beyond worn out. I'm just amazed that we
Where, wait,
let
oh,
that.
oh, yeah,
So
sold,
17,400?
Yep.
So, I was wondering, what happens, I mean, this may not be an answer for you. or a
but,
question for
I'm
you.
sorry, before we get there,
Yeah.
can you move,
Mhm.
take it out of DPW highway equipment and move it down to transfer station, that 2014 CAT backhoe?
It's shared, but yeah,
Yeah, but it primarily
Yeah.
resides at the transfer station, correct, Dave?
It primarily stays
Okay,
there.
so then I think it should be in that transfer station.
got it.
And we could put in the comments, it's shared with DPW.
Yeah.
And if you're going in that direction, then truck 2 should also be the transfer station. It's used solely for the transfer. Well, I shouldn't say that. We move culvert on it quite often, and we have to move culvert to a job site. But other than that, no, it's primarily the transfer station.
So you said that's truck number 2?
Truck number 2, the 2023 Western Star color blue. And that would be on your spreadsheet.
37?
It would be,
Well, it was old 37, yeah. The 2023 Blue Western Star 47X 6-wheeled
Yeah.
roll-off truck number
it's
2.
number 37 on the spreadsheet.
Yeah,
And that is transfer station? Or is
Yeah, it is primarily used for the
Okay.
transfer station. It's just like the backhoe. I mean, there's times that we'll take an empty open-top container out and fill it with brush and bring it back here and dump it, but not very often. And we'll move culvert with it, but not very often.
All right, cool, I got that.
Primarily, it's the transfer station, and when I fuel it, I put it under the transfer station. So,
And then I see two projects, the dust control shed and the transfer station repaving. So you work.
I have not done anything with reparations, repairing the salt shed that we have, or the paving up there. I think maybe Josh has gotten some numbers already for paving the transfer station. But if memory serves me, one of the guys that he had in that we use for road paving, he said really that it's not as in terrible shape as we thought it was, and maybe sealing it would be a way to go right now at the transfer station.
I thought they did some.
We did,
little bit of
there's
paving.
a swale that
Section of
had
it.
ripped up down by below by the compactors, and we repaved that the end of summer, early fall. So,
Were there any other?
Questions,
major
yeah.
project- Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
well, no, Dave had more questions for us, I think.
No, I'm okay for right now. Other than, you want the plows and the plows numbered,
Right,
and we also talked about, and you want that added on to the spreadsheet, is what you said?
yes, please.
And that's like the big stuff, I'd say, that it's
Um,
5,000 or up.
the only,
There's probably
let's
this.
see, I guess I can, take a little bit of research to see what that equipment cost the town when it was purchased. And then there was, I had another one. The chipper, I think we decided that we're not going to do anything with that. We talked about it last week, when you were at the office, and
Yeah,
if, just keep running it as, you know, we've done quite a bit of work to it, and if we need one, if one's available to rent, we'll rent it.
Cormac is selling one, it's only 5-inch though, and it seems to be
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, it's not big enough, yeah.
we have
And
an
even the
8-inch
chipper we have, really, I think it's an 8-inch chipper,
Yeah,
and it does a pretty good job, but, ideally, if the town ever were to buy one, a 12-inch would be a lot better, you know, and take a good size tree.
alright, so you're in a place we are just.
But I think that is what we decided, so I'm not gonna go any further on the chipper.
I would replace, put, and take out 2029 and put TBD in there.
To be-
That way, we have it, we know the
Yeah.
equipment's there, we know it's old, because it's from 1989. And it's still working.
Watch what you're calling old.
Not people, equipment,
Still.
equipment.
I'm sorry, I'm just scrolling over here. On,
So all the rest of those.
I
numbers.
mentioned that on truck 14, that's the blue Kenworth 10-wheel dump truck, that's the big one. That we stretched we stretched it out another 10 years. It's a 2014, and I'm putting 2034.
Right, I see that.
My personal feeling is, I think you should take 5 years off that and start looking when it's 15 years old. I think I don't know what it's gonna be like in 2034, it might be an electric dump truck for all I know. But,
Right.
I know that it's not gonna get any cheaper, the truck will still have some decent value to it in 15 years, but I put it for 34, so if you guys wanna, that's
Yeah.
my personal opinion.
I'll update it
To 29. I think that
29.
makes sense. I think that, and you know, again, we get to 2027 or 2028, and you're like, nah, the truck is working perfectly. We don't have to replace it. We can get another 5 years out of it. Or let's start looking at this. But again, if we know this is coming up, we can start putting funding away now to replace it in, 5 to 10 years.
And I think, when we get down the road here and, I think the next truck in line for us that needs to go is truck 12, that's a 2008, I think. Look at it.
Peterbilt with the dump body?
Yeah,
The
that
du-
dump body
That's the one
will
was
go-
the
that
the
dump body will
stainless
go-
steel dump body that's
Correct.
new? Okay.
Correct, yeah, 2008. I think one of the two international CVs, we get the smaller trucks, the small 6-wheel dump trucks, they're like a 1-ton size, a little bit larger actually, but we're talking about using one of those to trade onto truck 12 when we start looking at vehicle replacement. And
Which one to trade?
Truck 12, the 2008 Peterbilt, number 12 on your spreadsheet line.
Yes. No, I meant what would you use to trade in?
Well, probably one of those two international CVs, either truck 3 or truck 10,
Okay.
all right? And
Wait, I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Going down a truck, so 2 for
going
1.
down a truck, trading
Go
one
2
of
for
those
1.
trucks towards the replacement for the 2008 Peterbilt.
But what are we doing with the 2008
We're gonna
Peterbilt? We're gonna
sell
trade
it
that
or
in
tra-
too.
either
Yeah.
sell it or trade it. Yeah.
Go
we're
down
gonna
in the number of trucks
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
So we're gonna trade in 2 trucks,
Right,
basically, to
right,
get one
right,
replacement
Right,
truck.
that's what
Okay,
we've been talking
that's
about.
what I just wanted to make sure I
Yeah,
understood.
yeah. Because we don't we don't think that we need to have both those trucks either. We do need to have one of them, and it's a good Parks and Rec truck and use it at the beach and in cleanups like that. But the previous administration, bought both of those trucks, so, that's where we're at. We've got them, but they have cost us a lot of money. They just,
So we don't really need to replace truck number 3. We don't necessarily need it, the lemon.
right. Either
But
sell
it
it
isn't-
or trade it.
That's
towards-
currently the truck that plows Bickford Road, Mooney Hill Road.
It is, and so I don't wanna get off track, because I know this is a CIP meeting. I know there was discussion about that last night.
Yeah.
I watched it from home. Yes, that truck does primarily go up in the hills, but you need to understand
'Cause it's four-wheel
not
drive.
heavy enough to do that job up there. And we will send up one of the big trucks to wing back after the storm or towards the end of the storm. Not only that, you can't put the amount of sand in it that we can put. You can only put a yard or a yard and a half of sand in that for treating the roads. Well,
Yeah.
that doesn't get you very far. The big trucks, you can get 6-7 yards in there, and then you can do everything up there.
Right.
And,
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
and
so
I'm
you're constantly
not-
running back. So that was we used to use years ago the Oshkosh, the orange Oshkosh.
Right.
That's what that was for, an all-wheel drive truck. And
Yeah.
that thing, was a great.
Cruised.
Yeah.
Yeah, it cruised through there.
So.
Yeah, and I'm not questioning, I'm just,
Yeah.
from a purely logistic standpoint, I know we talked even last night a little bit about, that truck number 3 is slated for replacement
That's
next year in
2019,
2026.
yeah, and we,
Yeah, and so-
in the DPW, in our world, it's like, let's get rid of that thing, it's just cost this town so much money. And we really don't need 2 of those, and why we ended up with 2, I don't.
So what was the other truck that was the potential for trading in with truck 12?
Well, either the red one or the blue one of the 2.
3 or 10.
Yeah,
Thank you.
3, I'm sorry, 3 or 10. 3 is the red one, 10, I'm
What
sorry.
are you gonna do
3
when we
is
get all the
blue one,
trucks
red is
painted the
10.
same color and you can't refer to them?
Well, that's, yeah.
stickers, 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Like the buses have the
Yeah,
Yeah,
blue bus, green bus.
okay, so that's gonna come out of there and you presume that the truck 12 is the next one to go, the
That would be the
2008
next one in
Peterbilt.
line to go, yeah, that truck is.
And it's on here for 2028.
Correct, yeah.
But do we think that that's gonna be sooner?
I think we can stretch it out. Maybe it could be, I don't, if this thing goes through with the grant, that kind of helps us out quite a bit, so.
Should-
Possibly we could put that down to 27.
I just wanted to mention, I was thinking about this morning, something that Selectman Gray said last night at the meeting was that there is another round of grant requests coming. Okay, if we think for a second that we want to participate in that, we kind of know what the other one looked like. We should be preparing for that now, and that might be a good opportunity to be able to get rid of truck 12. Right.
That would be a candidate, that's a
Yeah.
non-deaf truck, so.
Right, so we would be able to get rid of truck 12 and replace it with whatever a grant would buy, but then starting to understand what are the requirements right now, sit and start with requirements for, if we're gonna replace truck 12, what does it do? What are we lacking in our inventory with regard to capability? And starting from those capabilities, developing requirements, and then giving that to, now giving it to manufacturers or dealerships to get a quote based on those requirements and capabilities, as opposed to saying to them, hey, give me a quote on a Mack for whatever, blah, 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 4-wheel drive vehicle. What we do is we allow the manufacturer to tell us what truck will best meet the requirement and capability that we're looking for. and get those quotes.
So this is this Peterbilt's a 330 model, and they're not making those anymore.
Right,
So going up the next size, I think is going to end up being too big. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that, but.
so
I
then
know
does somebody else make a truck that's the
Well,
right
yeah,
size
Western
for
Star
what we need?
would be something like the green plow truck that we purchased, a 24 Western Star plow truck that's up there. That was supposed to be blue, by the way, but
I know, that was weird, that was
it
good.
came green, and they've discounted the town a little bit on it, but it would be similar to that. It would not be an all-wheel drive truck. It would be, and we would be moving the dump body, not the plows, but the dump body onto the new cabin chassis.
Right.
My understanding is there's, International, there's Freightliner, there's Western Star. Going, if I can, going the Mack route, there is a dealer that services and does warranty work on both Western Star and Max and Internationals. And we've just started using them. They're in Portland. So it's all under one house, one roof. And it's been making it a little bit easier for us. So it would behoove us to try to stay with one of those manufacturers.
Right,
So,
right.
you know.
Yeah,
we-
when all
yeah,
things considered,
yeah,
when you
yeah.
sit down and weigh, yeah, we buy this truck, but now every time we have to have anything done to it, including oil changes, we gotta
Right.
drive it 300 miles to
Right, exactly.
to a separate, or wherever it has to go, I don't know.
So there
Maybe
is
5
another
miles.
round
Yes,
that opened August 25th, and it has rolling applications, so there's no, March 30th is the deadline, but they're basically accepting proposals or requests on a rolling basis until the money runs out.
So you really, the rule of thumb when you buy these trucks, you really need to think about ordering it a year in advance. Because even though the sticky point with this one in the grant is because it's all-wheel drive, you can't just go to a lot and find an all-wheel drive truck. And manufacturers are real sticky about using all-wheel drive in their trucks. And that's one reason why we went with the Mack. But even with your standard six-wheel truck, when we bought the Western Star, the green one, that was all of a year to get the truck, number one, and then get it upfitted and get it into service. So whenever it's decided that we need to replace that, it would be nice to get going a year in advance on it. You have
that's
to.
hence the reason for this,
So,
so we can start looking
And if it's
forward.
gonna be a grant thing, what you're saying is now's the time.
Now's the time.
We kind of, the issue we're having with this grant is that the grant itself said you could, that the projects didn't have to be done until December 2027. Apparently we were optimistic and,
26.
no, the grant paperwork itself, the whole program, projects didn't have to be completed until 2027. But in our application for the grant, we were overly optimistic and said we thought we could finish the project by December 2026. So we kind of, don't do that yet. Not saying you, but we can't, we kind of backed ourselves into that.
So I would say for the CIP, keep that in your mind that that's the next truck. If there's gonna be another grant available.
Is
Now.
replacing 3?
Now, starting now.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Wait, Dave, replacing 3?
Truck 12.
12.
12, okay.
Additionally,
But if that's the case, we're not trading in truck 3 or truck 10 because that would be destroying.
No, we just
truck-
sell them outright.
Yeah,
If you want to get rid of them.
Yes, just
So
sell them
so
outright.
removing the truck 12 up sooner?
You can, we have it on here for 2028.
What did you have to?
so if there could be a consensus a little bit, because you talk so great about the all-wheel drive thing, that now that we have that one on the way, and it will take care of our big hills, and the rest is flat land over there, it opens up a new market to more trucks, because if we already have our for all-wheel drive in place for the most steepest places, we only ever ran just the Oshkosh, like you said, and we were fine all those years. We looked it up, or Joy mentioned it briefly, I think it got buried last night, that we don't have to buy a brand new truck or build it. We can buy a used truck, and just in looking, I found two Max. They were not all-wheel drive, but they were heavy-duty trucks for plowing, and they had 17,000 miles on them, and they were covered under full manufacturer warranty.
Yeah, that was another rough part
Extended
about the grant, was
warranty.
that the grant said that
The
you could
grant.
buy anything.
23 or newer.
Right.
So
So
kind
we
of,
didn't have to necessarily buy a new truck.
Right, or have to,
Finding a four-wheel drive one that was suitable would have
Um,
been a little more. But at any rate,
yeah,
my point
they
is,
were 4x8, so they were not four-wheel drive, but.
my point is, it is November of 2025. We have time now to do all, it's not rushed, it's not a 6-week project. This can take a couple months, 2 or 3 months, to get all of the information that we would need, sit down and figure out, if the grant is already open, then we know what the requirements, what they're gonna be looking for in terms of information and deadlines. I mean, the new one may be December of 2028, it has to be on the road. So that gives us time
Right.
to get it in front of, even potentially this March, get it in front of the warrant article, in front of the townspeople, to say, this is how we wanna do this, and here's the information, and then the town votes and says, yes, let's go through with this, let's put some money in the heavy highway equipment fund, let's use some unassigned balance, let's do a combination, we're gonna sell truck 3 outright, cause we're gonna try and get a grant, and we'll just sell truck 3, we won't use it as a trade-in, we'll use that money, if we have to use that money, we use it as the down payment anyway, that kind of thing, we can strategize how best to approach this, cause we have time. Okay, and there are resources available to you and Josh and anyone else who works on this in order to be able to sit down and go through that. I know the advisory budget committee would be more than happy to sit down and help. I'm sure Selectman Gray, Ms. Gagnon, do you
Yeah,
pronounce
that's
it?
fine.
Okay. Well, I had a guy who worked for me. He was Gagne instead of.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
But anyway, there are resources available to help with some of this stuff. You need somebody to go contact a manufacturer and get a quote, and here, Sharon, this is what I need. Can you make the call while I'm doing this other stuff? You got 2 weeks to pester the hell out of them and get that information. Again, my point is we have time. Let's start taking advantage of that.
Well, I will, I'll make a note, and I wanna talk with Josh about that. This is what we've been talking about.
Right.
That would be the next truck to go, and we were in earnest that we need to look at that at 2028. But,
and then we had
we
truck,
can move that up a little bit if we
Got the grant.
got the grant, yeah.
And I apologize if I missed this, but you also have the online, lines 9 and 10, TBD backhoe, TBD dump. Is that in addition to what we're already talking about, or are those the ones that we're
so the,
adding?
What are you looking at now?
Line number 9 and 10, one says TBD backhoe, the other says TBD dump truck with wing and plow.
And it says future. I'm just wondering,
we could probably, that was my.
Are you on the spreadsheet?
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm in
I think we can,
9 and 10, right, because, the 420,
Backhoe?
that's the backhoe. I'm
That's
sorry.
at the transfer
I'm sorry,
station. It's
I'll
okay.
try to be better about that. The 420 is what is that, a 14, I believe.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's, if it was in full-time use with the DPW, it's time for it to go. What it's doing now is not real strenuous work, so, we really didn't put a date on that. I don't think I did anyway.
no, you do have that one, so I guess,
And then the, equipment number 10, to be determined, dump truck with wing and plow.
that's probably what we're getting now.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're getting now, yeah.
Yeah,
So we can just take that line off.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
And we're really not staring down the barrel of having to replace the backhoe right now. It'd be nice, but, you know, it's,
So it would be a second backhoe to replace
yeah,
the
because
one
we need to
sold.
have a piece of equipment at the transfer station.
Yeah,
They just need to have one, that's all.
So they could keep the one they have,
Yeah,
and the
then we put-
DPW could
right.
pick up one, you know, maybe even a used one that is gently used for the transfer station, because you don't use it every day there either.
Right.
And then continue to maybe cycle them, that as, if the one in the transfer station goes bad or starts to need a huge amount of repair, you could sell that one and move the DPW one to the transfer station, because it seems to me transfer station uses it more than
They do.
DPW.
They do,
So, yeah,
they do,
or it might be the other way, we move the one
yeah.
back from the transfer station and buy the transfer station a new one, or newer one. Not necessarily, we don't always need brand new equipment, but,
And sometimes some of that work can be done with the excavator, because it's the same bucket type thing, if that's what you need, right?
Yeah.
And that's kept on this side of town?
Well, we'll take it up north if we have to,
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
you know, that's.
But I'm
we
just
can-
saying
We can
it's-
run that over the road, but
Yeah.
it's really not great.
No, I know what it
You
sounds
know,
like.
but
so
we do.
for our purposes, we're leaving the backhoe are we gonna leave the backhoe on here and,
You can leave it on there, but it's not in our sights to be replacing it right now.
okay.
okay,
Yeah, so I'll leave it on there, I just relabeled
Yeah.
it, second backhoe, referencing in parentheses, that 1997 was sold in 2005, and the 2014 is shared between transfer and highway. So,
And then when you are ready to, get a new one, we can look at any grants or anything out there to see if we can try and get one of those.
for sure.
And moving down on the spreadsheet to number 13, the 2011 plate
plate
compactor.
compactor?
That's a machine we use quite often, and we box out areas of pavement that get redone, we have to compact underneath it. It's a compactor.
It's a big plate that goes kumble, kumble.
No, this one's a vibrating one, and it pushes kind of like a lawnmower. It's, the one we have is pretty worn out, but we've been renting one. That's on a wish list, I would say. I think, I know Josh was talking about it, but,
So, let's go, I'm sorry, before you go back a little bit. So you said, we have one.
we have one, that
But we've
2000
been renting one instead.
Yeah, it doesn't stay running, it's really worn out. And we've been renting one from Coleman's, and they have half a dozen.
Right, so is there sort of a cost-benefit analysis that's been done as to?
No, not
Do we just
yet.
continue renting, or do we,
Not
why,
yet.
you know?
It's, you know, it's been a brief discussion that we should get something, newer, and also we've been talking about, a roller. You know, you see the rollers that they use. We've rented those too, but right now, we're renting. So put that in the line, but that's something that I think in the next couple of years that the DPW is probably gonna look at.
Yeah, I guess my question is always, especially for things like a wood chipper or a compactor that we don't use every day. Most of these trucks, they're on the road pretty frequently, almost on a daily
Yeah.
basis. In the winter, if they're a plow truck, yeah, they're probably on the road on a daily basis. For something that's a plate compactor that you're only gonna use when you're fixing roads,
Yeah.
you know, and that's maybe 3 weeks during
Yeah.
the summer, do we really need to invest in buying one, or does renting one continue to you know,
Right.
meet the requirement for how often we're gonna use it?
Um,
And oh, by the way, it costs us less money, 'cause we're
Yeah.
not paying interest.
Off the cuff, I would say renting a compactor would probably be the best way to go, but we do rent a roller oftentimes when we're repairing the dirt roads, you know, once it's graded out, we'll run the roller on it,
Yeah.
to compact it, and then we put the calcium chloride down. to
But we only
solidify it.
grade the roads unless something happens twice a year, right?
It's more
grade
than
'em in
that.
the
Yeah,
spring,
it's more than that.
Grade them in the
There's a
fall.
heavy
No,
rain.
we're going
Heavy
all the
rain.
time. I don't know where that came from, that we just do it twice a year. We do them as needed, and it's a lot more than twice a year. If we didn't grade the roads in the middle of the summer, people they'd have our hides, so.
Especially if it rains a lot.
Yeah,
It'd be really
it is very dependent on the weather if you go.
Yeah, so I just usually go by my
Yeah,
road and,
yeah.
like, it didn't get graded this fall.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
but it was in relatively good shape. It didn't, I don't think it even necessarily needed it, but.
But,
Guys did a good job on my road. That road, good job.
It's been out a lot, and,
Yeah.
and, I know we did a lot of work up on Pound Road with it this summer, you know, a lot of
Yeah,
work.
yeah. Okay. So the bottom line is probably, and we can wait, because there could be a template for that,
Yeah.
for the
Yeah,
compactor,
yeah.
to show
that's-
us whether or
that's-
not it makes sense to continue to just rent it as needed, or whether or not purchasing one. But with regard to the, what was it, oh, the roller. Is the roller on here? I don't see
It is not, no, it's under equipment that we rent, and that we would have to do a whole analysis on that to see.
Right,
if,
right. But, so we might as well start those analysis now, to see so that if you do want to add it as something opposed to renting it, it makes more sense to purchase it. You have the data and the analysis to go with it, to, I don't wanna say rationalize, but to justify and show the people the requirement.
So,
Would you use a roller instead of a compactor, or is it just?
on the
about
dirt
being
roads,
smaller?
yeah, the compactor is when you're repairing a pothole, or we've
Okay.
boxed out a area that we need to repave.
Like a
that is
MoDOT
just-
or something.
Right,
So
and
you
we
would
put
need-
new gravel in there, and then we compact it. You can't really put a roller into something like that, unless it's really wide and long, but otherwise, we just use a compactor, yeah.
Okay.
And we'll just send one of the guys up to Coleman's and grab one. I don't know what, it's probably $125 a day or something. I'd have to look it up, so.
Okay.
How do you compact the dirt roads now?
We rent a roller.
You do rent it?
Yeah, we rent a
Every
roller
time
from-
you grade, or just like once a year?
No, not every time, but when we're adding new material.
Adding new material.
Yeah, we'll grade it out, and
Yeah.
then it gets compacted and then, treated with calcium chloride.
I love
Or-
driving on my freshly graded road and making my own little marks, and you try to run over the.
I operated a roller last weekend at work, and I was, for 4 hours, I was like, oh, that did not for me. Felt like it was gonna tip over the whole time.
Okay,
Terrifying.
what else? Did you have more questions for us, Dave?
I don't think I do. I do see you have the dust control and salt shed here, and I have not, we talked about it last week with you, Sharon.
Yeah.
And maybe Josh has a better direction than, he's got something in mind, but that's something that's staring at us.
Right, that's a mandate by the
That
state
is-
to
that is
cover
a
our
mandate,
salt,
yeah,
right?
NFPA
And
says
he
it.
did say that he had contacted and talked to Freedom, because they bought one just a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
bought
yeah.
like a Quonset hut style to go over
Like
the
an
top of it.
Idolize.
Yeah,
Well, actually, no, Freedom's is a little different, it's all wood, and it's circular, I think, and it's quite a structure, it's huge. And I think it's $500,000, something like that.
Yeah,
He
I
said-
recently priced out building one like an Idolize for my job, and it was not nowhere near $500,000. You know, I called over block for the block and stuff.
Well, you can get
Or
the-
no, Coleman's.
Yeah, we did price Quonset huts from Coleman's, I wanna say it was in the 120, 130 range.
Yeah.
For the big ones. Where I go up on Mount Carberry with loads of trash, they have one on the summit up there where they store sand and salt. It's quite a long hill that you drive up from the scale house. And they said theirs is 7 or 8 years old, I think. I talked to a guy about it a couple of years ago, and they're already seeing some
degradation.
You have to
degradation on the-
replace that
yeah,
every once in a while
and
because of the
is
sun,
just-
yeah. But you'll have the structure and all the block. The block
Yeah,
was more than I
but-
thought it was gonna be too.
So should we be looking at 2026 or?
I'm not going to venture a guess at that, Joy. I'm gonna let Josh and Justin,
Okay.
make that decision. That's really, I would be speaking out of line if I were to say.
That's fine. You
But
gave
it's,
us all
it's,
of the
as somebody
info.
that loads the trucks, I can tell you, it's really difficult when that sand, the top freezes and it gets snow on it, and you try to get into soft sand and the snow just keeps coming down and, you know, it's clogging up the spreaders and, it's really difficult, so. If the sand could be undercover, it would be phenomenal.
I can send an email to Josh and just ask him to look at what that due date is from the state. And then we can base it off of that.
And I'm writing things down because everything that we've talked about, I'm going to run by Josh anyway, so.
Okay.
Because it's really, you're getting my opinion. Okay, all right.
Valuable opinion.
Will you just ask him to
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
due date and then you can just
Yeah.
send it to me?
I will.
Okay, thank you.
So, looking at it, I just filtered for just the upcoming, like, next 3 years. So we've got truck 11, which obviously we're replacing with the grant. Then we've got truck 3 as a 2026 replacement, and truck 12 as a 2026 replacement.
I do 2028 on here for,
Sorry, I know, I just missed.
Truck 3 and truck 10, I don't think we should get real serious on those replacement years. Because we have not had good experience with either truck. They're both the same kind of truck. One's a 19, one's a 21, but they're
Yeah.
both international CD 5500s.
Yeah,
And they both have just been problematic from day one. And I think that if anything, we would use one of the trucks to trade in on one of the bigger trucks, unless we get a grant on that too. Or
sell it
get
on
rid of
municipal
both of
bid or
them and
something.
get one-ton truck. We used to, I don't wanna get into storytelling. We had a, when I came, I've been here for a little over 5 years, and when I came here, we had a GMC, one-ton dump truck. It had a diesel engine, it had the heavy-duty Allison transmission, a nice pair, low miles. That truck was traded even for that Coach car, the Tahoe, the 2017 Tahoe. And
You miss it. Is that what you're trying to say?
that truck really was useful to us. It was a good truck, something like that. It's a little bit smaller than the international CVs, the 2, 3, and 10. But maybe those two trucks can get traded into a one-ton pickup truck, a heavier pickup truck. I don't know, but something, you gotta, I wouldn't hang my hat on trying to plan on trading those two trucks in 3 and 10. I think we just need to get rid of them.
okay. So in terms of replacement,
Yeah,
we shouldn't
yeah.
even necessarily look at.
Maybe just leave it blank?
For TBD.
I mean, I filled out the analysis sheet and
You're among friends, Dave, it's okay to say.
Do people drive it?
yeah,
Do you drive?
yeah,
Okay.
the part-timers, we got one part-timer, Jim, that plows in the red truck
Okay,
for us.
all right.
And then, the blue truck plows up in the hills.
Okay,
Actually, Josh runs that.
yeah.
And then we use one of them, they use for mowing, going around mowing all the fields and the cemeteries and the foot of Lake Beach.
So when we take possession of the new truck, will that one up in the hills now won't even need a new road? Like we can sell that outright and just put it towards paying down this?
Well, the plan is that, no, we'll need a truck.
Since you don't like it anyway.
We'll need a
just say.
truck because truck 11 right now, the truck that's going to get destroyed, plows the northern route, Allard
Okay.
Hill, Boulder, from Boulder Road up to Allard Hill and Tasker and all that. So that would probably be one of those two small trucks, the one that Josh uses is the blue, number 3.
Number 3.
Will end up on the northern route is my guess, because this new truck is going to be for the hills.
All-wheel drive.
Right, the all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
But
So
what truck is doing those now?
the blue
Truck
one.
3 is the blue one.
Because the little one is doing the hills,
The hills,
Mooney and
yeah,
Bickford and
yeah.
Colby and that stuff. Truck 12,
Truck 12 does everything here in the village. It does Forest,
Can you-
Pines, Danforth,
can
High
you use
Street.
can you use the lemon, truck 3 to do that? Because you're gonna get rid of 12, right?
Well,
What does?
hopefully, yeah, but I mean, for this winter or next winter, it's
Yeah.
gonna have to be up north.
What does truck 10 do?
Truck 10 is the red one, that's the part-time guy, Jim runs that, and he often goes up north, and he'll do a lot of the roads in Idlewise that we have, Island Pond, Brenner, because they're dirt roads, and oftentimes, if it's a warm, if we get soft roads, we have rubber blades, cutting edges on those plows, and we'll put that truck on those.
So speaking of that, there's a good couple miles of like Modoc and Mooney Hill and Bickford that are dirt, that if we put this new truck on it, will it have a rubber blade attachment so that?
No, but if we have to put shoes on it, we will. If it gets really soft, we'll send a truck up there. We have 3 plows with rubber blades, and we leave them set up just for soft weather.
I was just curious.
Or sometimes we'll even put the front York rake on and bring that up to move snow off if it's too soft. No, if it's frozen, it's
Yeah.
concrete.
Yeah.
It's not a problem. If it's too soft, then we'll have to do
Well, I
something. Yeah, we have plans for that.
On the shoulder season
Yeah,
areas,
yeah,
you know, if we
yeah.
get a 6-inch snow in May,
Yeah,
And it's soft,
exactly.
then-
So we went out last Sunday morning and scraped almost everything up there.
yeah.
And we did it with the, actually Josh did it with the pickup truck, and we have a rubber blade on that plow so that it doesn't dig in.
You're dragging up the road,
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
plowing road down the road.
Um,
Okay,
But
Alright,
you'd
so-
rather not have those, you'd rather have a GMC 1-ton?
Well, something along those lines, and again, I'm gonna refer to Josh on that, because I think that in the DPW, we're all on the same page, that those 2 CVs, the 2 internationals are, not that they're a bad plow truck, they're so expensive that we've had nothing but electrical problems and ABS problems and DEF problems, and it's just been one thing after the other, and I can show you, and I think even on the CIP analysis, what that has cost us in the last 3 years. I know that the red truck, which is the newer one, just came back from Portland. I had to have a right front hub, and I just got the invoice as I was sitting here. I sent it to Linda, and it was $1,200. You know, and it's not from a lack of maintenance or anything like that. It's just, these darn things are just, I don't know what it is.
You think
we,
a
we're
1-ton
hard
would-
on them.
Yeah,
It's
would a 1-ton
problematic.
hold up?
Well, and you're not completely wrong with that. And I'm as guilty as anybody. I work in a storm. I work the front end loader, and I load the trucks, and then I plow the parking lots with the loader, you know, the school and here, you know. And when I load them up, I put a little extra on them, you know, because I know Jimmy is going up north, and he's gonna get up there and get half a mile done, and have to come right back after another load. And I had to lighten it up because I broke some leaf springs on one truck because I was loading them too heavy, so, and that was my fault, that's on me, you know, but, I was trying to get the most out of it that we could, and the truck couldn't take it.
Right.
So,
Right.
I didn't pay for it, but anyway, so it's just not a great fit, but I think one, small dump truck that can be used to go clean up the cemeteries, and you get debris in the back of the dump body and bring
And
it back.
probably even do these.
You could tow the
parking
the small
lots.
tractor with it, the John Deere tractor that we mow with, the fields, the,
Yeah.
you know, the 3033, would fit us better, but,
Looks like the international in 2021 was almost 170,000.
yeah,
What
yeah.
would what's a 1 ton? Like,
I think you're gonna probably, you'll be, I'm just thinking you, 1 ton with a dump body and a 9-foot or a 10-foot plow on the front, cause you'd put one on it anyway, I mean, it'd be an extra truck.
yeah.
You're probably gonna be in the 120 range, between 100 and 120,000.
Because truck, just pick a regular pickup truck that you drive around
Yeah.
town, a regular, you know, 3/4 ton or half ton or whatever you have. Those are in the $70,000 and $80,000
Isn't
anymore.
Cormac selling a 1 ton on their front lawn?
Yeah, it's an older one.
It is?
So I know you touch bases on the
I-
used trucks and
Yeah.
they have the, it's not a bad idea. I've been in the plow business. I am almost 200 accounts up in North Conway, and I did it with pickup trucks and 1 tons. And I had a backhoe with a snow bucket. And, after 4 or 5 years, those trucks were done.
Oh, no, I wouldn't
And-
suggest
and
getting it to
You
plow
don't-
with
you
if
don't
they already
know-
plowed with
You
it.
get into anything used.
Yeah, no,
You
not for
don't know,
plowing.
I mean, even if they have it certified.
Yeah.
You don't know what that truck was used for 17,000 miles, you know?
No, that was
Yeah.
the Mac, that was a big
Yeah.
giant truck.
Yeah, but I'm just, it's
But the
just,
little one,
I
I
kinda,
wouldn't-
I kinda scoff at that, but I'm not saying Josh wouldn't, you know?
Yeah.
That's my personal preference, it's
Right.
not, all right?
Yeah, but it was like $225,000, so I thought it could potentially save us a couple
Yeah.
$100,000. And have full manufacturer warranty, which doesn't always pan out, as you know, about the motor that we blew and had to pay for, but.
Yeah, what truck was that?
14, that's the 10-wheel dump truck. So I wasn't here, apparently when that truck was pretty new, I think in the first year, they lost the engine.
It was first.
And it had to be replaced.
And we ended up having to pay
And
that.
we did because, and this is only my understanding, they hooked the computer up to it and they said the engine was oversped 7 times or a total of 6 minutes or something
Yeah.
like that. Bingo, you guys are paying for it. And some pretty good mechanics have told me, they said, yeah, that's not the reason why that thing went bad. They had bad engines. But,
Right.
we've had no problem with this engine.
Yeah,
But
I remember that very
Yeah.
specifically, I was on the budget committee.
But since I've been here, 2 trucks come to mind. The red roll-off truck, we spent hordes of money. And the truck 11, we bought that truck with 260,000 miles on it.
Right.
And,
Yeah, I would only suggest one that was still under
Yeah,
warranty, although,
yeah,
like I said, that warranty did us no good in that circumstance,
Yeah.
you know?
and I know there's a lot of people that say, oh, these trucks will go 1,000,000 miles, and they will.
Yeah,
They will, if you're going over the road with them, you know,
Right.
cross country or something like
Yeah.
that, but when they're out here pushing
yeah.
and.
No, I didn't know if that Cormac truck had been used for plowing. I
Yeah,
wouldn't suggest
I-
buying a small truck like that for plowing. No way, 'cause they burn up so fast.
Yeah.
Even
So,
pickup trucks, like.
All right.
So the priority, for 2026 priority, obviously the truck under the grant, truck 11. And then, the next priority is the number 12.
correct,
And then then after that, we kind of have 2, I have them as priority 2. And it's the shared backhoe and, truck 14.
Can you send that to me so I can include it in our minutes, what you just said?
Is that, would you say
yeah,
that's accurate?
yeah, I think after we get through truck 12, as far as the trucks go, I think we're gonna be in pretty good shape for a little while.
Okay. I have the Kentworth, or the number 14, as potentially, as a priority 2, which I'd play replace in 2029.
Right,
at this
right.
point.
They feel, Billy Chick has been running that truck, and he feels that it would go easily another 10 years, and we may say, okay, let's push it out, in 2029, let's push it out another 5 years, you know. But
The 24,
the 2014.
The number
or
14.
yep,
Yeah.
all right, but we'll reevaluate in 2 years. The next 2, yeah.
Joy, could we put a note on here to replace, could it be, I just don't want somebody else to be looking at this down the line and be like, oh, well, you said 2034, but really that's just like a reevaluation here.
No, I thought we were changing that to 2029.
I think I did.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we wanted to look at it and then at 15 years reevaluate, because it might actually last another
I mean-
5 to 10 years.
I mean, we'll go through this exercise pretty much every year.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
reprioritize
yeah.
anyway,
Okay.
so I'm just, I can put an estimated year to replace it.
Yeah, and we don't have to move and chop by 5-year increments. We can move and chop by 1-year increments and say, no. You know, next year when we look at this, 2029, we can make it, let's put that as 2030 and continue each year. But at least it tells us that things are, here's, like 2039 is 15 years from now. We can be saving less for that piece of equipment. We can be saving less money for that than we have to save for something that's in 2026 or 2028 kind of thing, or 2029, so.
Yep.
I think that's more what I'm looking for is how much, if we have 5 years between now and when we think we're gonna buy it, how much should we be putting away, or how much should we be saving, or, how much should we be looking at with regard to, if we were to purchase this outright, how much do we need to be putting away? And adding that all up and saying, okay, now we need a warrant article to fund the CIP into the various ETFs. We need a warrant article for $500,000. And that gets divvied out, and then in the warrant article, it says, $250,000 goes to road improvement, $200,000 goes into heavy highway equipment, $50,000 goes to the library or whatever, or town hall.
So,
That will be better than our random,
Then
like,
just
oh, $10,000.
Pull it out of your butt, yeah.
Yeah.
For me to better understand, to make this work, because it's not just the DPW, it's the fire department, it's the
Right.
police department, it's the codes car. And I don't know where they are, and I've got a vague understanding of where we are. And
You're better than vague, Dave.
Yeah, you got it.
I think, and I'm married to somebody that's a numbers person, that's what she's done her whole life. And she said, you guys are gonna have to start putting well over $500,000 a year away.
and that's where kind of the next section, that 10-year,
Actually, $1 million, because that doesn't include paving roads.
right?
Right,
It's
yeah,
a whole other
Josh has been working
Right.
on that.
That's a whole other CIP, yeah.
It is, but, because she's helped me a little bit, and some, mostly with the spreadsheet, because I almost screwed the whole thing up, but anyway, and she's looking at numbers, and she's looking at my analysis, and she said, just for the DPW, you're looking at $500,000 a year. And I said, I don't know how that's sustainable. So then I got digging to see how Ossipee does it, because I'm not a taxpayer here, I live in Ossipee. And,
Oh, you're not a taxpayer here.
no,
Like, I'm sure
I live in West
Ossipee-
Ossipee.
I was gonna say, I'm sure Ossipee would be very unhappy to hear you're living there and not paying taxes.
I pay taxes. I don't live in Madison. And we have more square miles than Madison, and we're grossly underfunded as well. And I'd like to get together with TJ Eldridge and see, what's his plan and how's he doing this with their trucks, and so. But it got me thinking, God, if we gotta do that here in Madison, what are we doing in Ossipee?
Right, right.
so.
Right, and this, you know, I mean, this stuff is hopefully, yes, it's $500,000 a year, but it's $500,000 warrant article to buy a new truck, right? So,
It is, where on a personal level, and I'm talking as an Ospey taxpayer, if this was me, do I wanna pay now or pay later? But part of me says, boy, all that money I'm paying is just sitting in somebody else's savings account, you know, hopefully making money, but,
Right. But
you
if
know.
we pay now, then we're also not paying interest.
Yeah,
Like,
and I think
we're
our interest
saving
bill
up
we're
was
making interest, not a lot, but
Yes.
we're making interest.
Yeah, I think it's was $100,000 in interest last year, or
On the
80,000.
grader alone, $100,000 in
Yeah,
interest over the
so-
life of that.
Okay,
That's
An
1.5
extra.
police
Yeah,
cars.
yeah.
Yeah.
that's money that we have to pay that does
Oh, no,
nothing.
I completely understand.
Yeah,
And-
so I'd rather put that $100,000 into the CIP and it gets used as part of the payment for the, you know, for the next truck. Because it has utility then as opposed to just vaporizing and paying somebody else. So, but no, you're right, and because, I'm gonna get on my
And
soapbox here.
consistency.
Yeah,
Every year, we have a better idea of, okay, this is what it should be for our taxes, not, you know, oh, we need a grader, we need a, whatever it is
Yes,
that year.
right,
It's
right,
more
right.
like that
Um,
urgency.
but because we didn't as a town pay attention to some of this years ago, this is 10, 15, 20 years in the making, because we didn't pay attention to this and we didn't do this back then and start putting some of this money away, then we are where we are because we have a lot of equipment that's kind of old and getting to the point where a lot of it starts to need replacing. And so, you know, I don't want to say the chickens are coming home to roost, but that's what's happening.
Oh, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. And that's exactly how this town ended up in, I don't wanna call it a mess. I don't think it was a mess, but the whole grader situation.
Kicked it down the
There
road,
was.
kicked it down the road.
As we all know, it was on a CIP years ago,
Yeah.
and the can kept getting kicked down the road, and I completely understand that.
You know, it's funny, I went back and checked, cause doing like, trying to piece together how we got where we were with the grader. I went back and read old town reports, when was it on CIP, when wasn't it? In 2003, in the town meeting minutes, the select board decided to reprioritize and do something else. And it says right in the minutes, the select board, and then 2006, the same thing, the select board decided to fix it, and I
So it
just-
wasn't the taxpayers deciding they didn't want to fund it, it was the
That's-
select board.
That's what frustrates me, and when I keep hearing blame on the taxpayers for not wanting to pay for stuff, never once in the past 20 years did the taxpayers, well, minus this year, did the taxpayers say, we don't wanna fund that or replacing that. So that's a little soapbox that I'll stand on, and now I'm off, okay, moving on.
And I was here for that whole time, and I will say that there's a caveat to that. That kicking the can down came with a bill of 8,000 or 10,000 or whatever, with a verbal, which that's why I spoke a lot about getting things in writing. Verbal, for lack of a better word, assurance that if we spend 7,500 on this today, we don't even have to think about it for 15 more years. And if we spend 10,000 on this today, it's good for another 50. So we were told that. So that's where it wasn't just like, never mind, we just won't have a grader. You know what I mean?
It was repairing.
It was, we had replaced every single inch of these things and were assured that nothing could possibly go wrong with it again. That's really what happened. But avoiding the interest, I think, does put us ahead. I don't really agree with, I agree that you're right, that we need the $500,000. I don't agree we should go for the $500,000. I
Right.
believe we should start smaller and say, and I don't know if it's expendable trust fund or capital reserve fund, something that you have to get town meeting approved to
Both of them.
to spend. Because I think didn't we just have a repair for $7,700 on something? And that came out of the
The ETF, I think.
Heavy highway.
ETF, and we don't wanna fund this stuff out of an ETF, we wanna fund it out of something where, hey, we've been putting away 25,000 a year just for highway department equipment replacement, and we're now gonna ask the town, can we buy this piece of equipment? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Cause
I
the
feel like-
ETF, otherwise they can just find stuff and then buy it. And we
Well,
don't
not,
want-
no,
I
it
think,
the
depends.
wording,
Do-
right?
Your purchasing policy, like even Linda said the other day.
Oh, the same.
Purchasing policy says that if you're gonna buy something over a certain amount,
Okay.
you need approval. You need
Right.
3 bids and approval, and there's a whole process.
Right.
That's the process I wanna help work on.
Right, right.
That I wanna get that a little more robust in detail and feedback and communication. I'm not saying produce more paper, I'm
Right.
saying produce more communication, so that you
Right.
can manage the town's expectations, the taxpayers' expectations, the board's expectations, and the department's expectations, so.
Yeah.
So, yes, I agree, we sit down, we look at the number, and it comes to $500,000, and we go, okay, that's not necessarily really feasible, but this is if we,
What can we do?
what can we do? How much of a, how big of a chunk can we put into this? And start talking, and that's why we have the town meeting. How much? It's, the warrant article says $500,000, but the townspeople are like,
no, they would,
we
that
can
would
agree
not.
on 300,000. Okay, we put in 300,000, recognize that pushes, we're gonna now spread that 200 that you didn't put in here, that now gets spread over the next 5 years for how much do we have to put in next year? So next year might be 700,000.
Yeah, I don't see that passing, but if we go from 0, we put 0 in, we put 0 in the whole time for an actual piece of equipment purchase.
Right.
We've always just leased, so if we start at like 25 to 50,000 and maybe another 20 for the police and another whatever, and then grow it every 5 or 10,000, we will come up with something the town could swallow. $500,000 plus what we have to pave, plus what we have, the other things will be, I mean, I don't see our town, having been to 23 town meetings, coming in and going, wait, we have $1.5 million of warrant articles or whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
I just don't see that passing.
So maybe
Well,
do different models.
Right,
Yeah.
so part of this is that we're gonna have to sit down and come up with, I think, different options.
Right.
Do we do option A, which is, yeah, the town sucks up the $500,000 and puts it in there? Okay, option B is no, we take $250,000 out of the unassigned fund balance and we add it to a capital reserve fund or a ETF or one of those things. And then the town, the other 250 comes out of taxpayers and they put that in. And so that every year, we're looking at that. Without doing any kind of analysis
Yeah.
yet, to know how much the number's actually gonna be.
Right.
And prioritizing things so that, you may not be putting away for this year for every single thing on the list.
Right.
You might only be putting away for 3/4 of them.
Right.
So yeah, there's still a lot to this that has to get done.
Yeah. No, I agree. But we have to look at, we can't, be focused on the equipment and then forget that they have to pave, or something like
No,
that,
no, we understand.
Because that went from 100,000 a year to 150 to 250, and now it's probably gonna be $500,000.
Yeah. I think I even put those, like, some of those warrants I had them in here at one point, like the paving warrant, because needs to be added in the columns for 2027 expense, 2028, to contract it. And one thing we need to figure out too is that the highway heavy equipment ETF was created in 2012 for the purpose of repairing, refurbishing, or replacing highway heavy equipment. Then it was explained at the time not to replace, as in replace existing, not add to the fleet. And we add like 10, maybe 15, sometimes $20,000 a year, but like in my humble lands here, I have, we just took 16,000 out to buy plows, buy a bunch of plows and parts and stuff. So now we don't have that 16,000 to put down on a new thing. So we have to kind of figure out
We have
repairs, and again, we're putting plows on the CIP, but that's just a piece of it.
I think that should be kept separate, because they need to be free to fix the stuff that breaks
Well,
and
I
not
was-
touch what we're saving for the next thing,
There is a repair budget line,
Yeah,
but
Right, and I guess it's more on the selectmen side to set a limit on spending before we have to come to you. But we could easily spend $10,000 repairing a truck,
Yeah.
you know, and where's the line drawn? You know, I
Right.
mean, if it's a new piece of equipment that we want or we need, or, yes, I understand that we'd have to get a PR and,
And to that point, and to kind of combine that with Sharon's, like if you say hypothetically, if the DPW, their repair budget or is, like our maintenance, but whatever is under, then can we take that and put that into like a highway heavy equipment ETF to now, hey, we didn't spend on our repairs, we can save that towards new equipment and can save the interest.
I would like to think we could do that, but
I don't-
I
I don't
think it's
know.
kind of
Yeah.
wishful thinking.
I don't know that
Because-
we can, because it goes, if it's not spent at the end of the year, it goes into the unassigned fund balance, and then you have to do, I mean, remember we read that whole piece in the budgeting, state budgeting guidance about transferring money back and
Yeah.
forth, and so there are specific regulations that guide whether or not you can do that, whether or not you can take that money out of the unassigned fund balance to put it into an ETF.
Yeah, Adam said this
Yeah, I
didn't
don't-
apply, so I'm confused about that.
Yeah.
I think that, there's like Joy almost said it before, if we had it just for replacement and had a really realistic, budget for maintenance, like we might have to beef that up, cause you know, if you have to get a training or something, I mean, that's, what, 10 grand these days, right? So, to have that, and then when something just got sold, you mentioned earlier for $17,000, that could have gone into buying into the account that maybe, I don't know if there's a rule against it.
There-
Yeah,
That,
it has to go into the
Do-
general fund.
It
I think
does,
goes into
yeah.
the- Yeah, it has to go into the general fund,
right.
so.
So then
there-
maybe
there are-
re-vote on it or something to move it later at a meeting or,
We could vote to
Yeah.
move it out of, like I said, hopefully, we could vote to move it out of the unassigned fund balance, because at the end of the year,
Yeah.
it comes out of the general
Right.
fund and goes
Yeah.
into unassigned fund balance, because it's surplus,
yeah.
right? My point is, it's surplus because we taxed people and brought in that revenue and didn't spend it.
Right.
Okay, we didn't spend it. So one of two things is happening. We're either over budgeting or we're really, really good at being thrifty and just buying the things, or a combination of both.
Right,
I mean, there are places I know in talking with the department heads where they kind of have to believe in worst case scenario and budget for that. We just did it last night with the zoning board because of the legal ramifications of some of the decisions of the zoning board and those decisions going to court. I'm not talking about the STRs, that's under a whole separate fund already. But any other court case, if we don't know what applications are coming down the line, we don't know that another cell phone tower isn't coming, and that would result in another lawsuit. We have to kind of plan for that and understand. That's gonna change that zoning budget line from $5,000 to $30,000, right? That's a huge increase, that's a 600% increase in 1 year to a budget line. Now, if we don't go to court, we haven't used it.
those situations, though, you're going to court on either side, so, pretty
We
much.
digress again.
So I'm just saying, from a budget perspective, I understand where
Yeah.
some of those lines might appear overinflated, but the issue is that they have to plan for something that's realistic, so.
Could we put it in the warrant ahead of time, that this doesn't go to the general fund if there's no, it just has to
State,
go?
yeah, state revenue laws and stuff say that.
No, it's like in the list, so when you get to zoning, it'll show that increase that.
No, she's talking about,
Oh,
can we
okay.
put it in a warrant article that if, when we sell the truck or whatever, that
Oh,
the
yeah.
money from that goes into the heavy highway equipment fund or whatever, capital reserve fund, and I'm like, no, when you sell it, it goes into, by state accounting procedures, it goes into that general fund, and then it gets dispersed and done with whatever after that, so.
It would be really nice to keep it very neatly columned, though.
Right.
This is for trucks and equipment only, you
Well,
know?
it's why it's better for us to trade a truck in on a new one, because then we do get the benefit of that.
Right.
If we sell it, it goes to the general
General
fund,
fund,
but
yeah.
you can get more money for it if you sell it too.
Sell it,
So
absolutely.
it's, you know,
Right.
it's- it's kind of,
And
it's
it's
a double-edged.
timing, like, if
Yeah.
you need to figure out that truck today, then trading the truck in brings down that cost. If you know, like, if you decided you could get rid of truck 4 tomorrow,
Right.
we could get that money, it goes into the general fund, but then it ends up in the unassigned fund balance, which you can go to the selectmen later in the year and say, this is how much it's gonna cost to put the new truck on the road. I need $150,000. We got $50,000 from selling that other truck. Can I have that to?
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that, because
No,
then you
right.
could just pay the bill.
Well, they do it all
You're
the
only
time.
paying the bill.
That's how,
Yeah.
how Chief King bought a new
Yeah.
police car, is
You
he
just
went
bought-
to the,
yeah.
went near, in June and said, hey, there's money in the unassigned fund balance, can I have $30,000 of it to buy, or whatever it was, to buy this police cruiser down in Pennsylvania, and we bought it outright. That's how we bought 3 police vehicles in
Yeah,
one
but that's a
year.
little different than knowing something came in right from that department for the sale of one of their assets.
No, I
You know what I
understand,
mean?
I understand.
That is like, I don't know about that, but yeah.
No, it's still, legit,
Yeah.
the town does it, we do it, on an annual basis to figure out how to use that unassigned fund balance. You guys signed the paperwork last
Right.
night, the agreement was, we're gonna
Yeah.
take $400,000 out of
yes.
that unassigned fund balance
For that, but
for
yeah,
that, to pay for that truck outright, and then get the
grant money. yeah.
grant money back.
Yeah. But typically, each vehicle is presented to the town as its own entity, so if somebody wanted to stand up and say, hey, whoa, that 10 police cars, that's way too much, no way. You know what I mean, like, then, the number starts spinning in people's head, the number of things, So
Right.
that's where that becomes a little bit muddy to me, for
Yeah.
people to
Right.
think about,
Okay,
Yeah.
what next? Keep-
Well, Dave, do you have anything else for us?
No, I
No,
think.
let 'em go
so.
back.
We've taken all your day. Well, thank you for this. So I guess we can move on to.
Dave, again, I volunteer. If you need help, you need me to be a keystroke queen, I'm happy to come work on things and do whatever you need me to do, okay?
Yeah, I've got some notes and I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
If your wife needs
So
a
I
break.
got, my work email was not sending for me and I had to have Linda reset the password for me, so now that's back up and running.
Okay,
So that's why you were getting my personal email instead. So if I have any questions, I'll just do a group email to you guys and whoever answers. And-
You can send it to Tia, because we're a committee, we're not supposed to be.
That's fine, you can
You
just.
So just to Tia?
Yeah, just
All right.
fine, yeah.
So you're the chairperson then?
yes,
Yeah.
she is.
Gotcha. All right, so that's what I'll do.
Because it's the risk of contemporaneous discussion outside of a public meeting and stuff.
Okay. If I have any problems, I'll get a hold of you then.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dave.
So
This is
very
helpful.
much.
You have obviously the biggest stuff, the biggest department, the most amount of money of the CIP, so all of this
You're the
information
most
is so
expensive one,
helpful.
Yeah. I know.
like a diamond.
And I know we kind of switched that around, DPW to, Joy, your updates.
You know, I turned 65 a month ago.
Happy birthday.
No, I'm not looking for a happy birthday.
Yeah, I don't know.
Medicare, baby, Medicare.
Happy retirement.
Not quite yet, Dave, not quite yet.
Dave, we should have had you up here at the table.
I'm sorry?
We should have had you up here at the table.
I
Oh, no,
offered
no,
for
it's
him
good,
to come
it's good.
closer, he
You
said
These
no.
guys are probably watching this.
Thank
Thank you, have a good one. So we kind of switched that around because, Dave was here, but, Joy, I know that you've done all of the updates to this, and it really is so helpful to have more of this information filled out, and, I appreciate you updating each section here. So you've updated DPW, you were able to enter Chief Brooks and Chief Hafer's items too.
Yeah, I believe I have everybody's stuff, let me double
Okay.
check.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna interrupt.
Yeah.
Your selectman email address is
Selectman Gray at madison-nh.org.
selectman,
Yes.
dot gray or
No, sorry, Selectman Gray, no dots.
Selectman Gray at,
Madison-NH.
yeah, Madison-NH .org. Okay, thank you.
And anybody in the public who now uses that,
Yeah.
anything you send me is public record and subject to 91A. So don't send me hate mail. You'll get in trouble. Okay.
And so I had reached out to Chief Brooks and, Mr. Boyd, and Chief Brooks had given us all of his information, but he wasn't able to come today. But I figured we could go through it, and then if we do have questions, and then Sharon, did you intend to meet with him,
With,
Chief Brooks? Or that was Chief Hayford?
yeah, it was Chief Hayford.
Okay, Chief Hayford.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we can just go through the fire department's, line items, and then if we have questions, we can ask them to come in, or we can,
And they're updated on here?
I'm double checking because there's, it's not complete in terms of, like, I mean, trailers hard to judge, but I don't know that, I don't have,
Well, you have to have something, because this is what it looked like, sorry. This is what it
The last
looked
one
like,
that
it was
they weren't-
blank.
okay, so we do have, I have
So you have
more, but I
some.
feel like there should be.
Oh, he left his backpack.
um,
Like, who's coming screeching up?
Okay,
Alright.
I know I keep asking for formatting and stuff, but can you do me a favor? Can
Sure.
you put like a, like a double line, the thin double line between like DPW transfer station in the fire department and the DPW highway, the Parks and Rec, and conservation, just so that we can see them in their own little, do you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Wow.
I guess maybe we need more information on any repairs, cause I'm assuming this equipment's pretty old, and
I didn't bring the drawdown. They haven't done much, there's not, I don't think that they've done a
So the repairs data I got from town reports. Because we have the vehicle fleet information in the back of every town report, and it lists parts and repairs, for the past 2 years or so. So that's where I got that data, so I don't know if there just were only repairs to those items, or just, I don't know. Okay.
So if I'm looking at his list, he's showing that in 2025, he wanted to replace the 2005 International Ford Tank 1.
He did change
That didn't
his
happen.
thoughts on some of that.
Right, I was gonna say,
Um,
that didn't happen, so.
I'll show you.
Do we know which one was the
So these are just, those are pages in the town report. I just printed them out. So it
Okay.
shows the fleet, it shows 2023 repairs, 2022 repairs, that's an older report. So that's just where I get that data from. Just so you see.
that was the 2022 report or the 2023?
That was 2023, but it had
Okay,
passed.
that's the
had
most
2
recent
years.
report.
No, there's a 2024.
Oh, there
that
is,
I-
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I did print that one out, I entered it directly from
Um,
the report I had in front of me.
so, I know that last year, at the end of the year, again, the selectmen voted to expend some money from the unassigned fund balance to do a water filter or something on one of the trucks. It was to the tune of like $25,000 or 27, or maybe it was even more, because then when they were gonna replace the water pump, they found other stuff, and so, but I don't see that reflected in here at all.
Probably in minutes from the meeting at the end of the year. So let me go to the December.
Or it would, you didn't print it, but you would have it, it would be in the 2024 report. And I'm trying to figure out which truck is that, and
Encumbrances. So I'm looking at the meeting minutes from December 23rd, 2024. 3 expenses were brought up to be encumbered: retiling of the town hall first floor for $8,796, a defibrillator for the fire department at $42,607.95, and replacement of the pump on tank 1 for $25,000. Discussion of committing the remainder of the ARPA funds, which had to be used, I believe, by the 31st. $16,499.33 towards the tank 1 pump replacement. And then Chief was asking that $25,000 be encumbered for the balance.
so is that the 2005 International 4 Tank 1?
I believe so. It was also explained that the estimate for the work on tank 1, $48,225, is higher than expected because the estimate was given prior to the company seeing the truck. Gray calculates that between the defibrillator and the pump, it would overspend the fire department's line. I'm fine with encumbering the floor and the defibrillator, but I don't want to steal from the bottom line. Aruna explained that we overspend lines on a regular basis, with this board being responsible for the bottom line of the budget. Gray would rather see the ARPA commitment go towards the defibrillator, which would have a hard estimate number on. So we used the balance of the ARPA fund, $16,499, towards the defibrillator. And we encumbered $83,128.67.
I'm sorry, how much?
Total, so we used, for ARPA,
No, that we encumbered.
we encumbered $83,128.67. And that is made up of, this is the meeting minutes from,
Yeah.
that is made up of $8,796 for town hall flooring, $26,107.67 for the fire department defibrillator,
I'm sorry, say it at 20,
$26,107.67.
for the defibrillator.
Yep.
Because we didn't have enough for the 42,000 for the defibrillator in the ARPA funds?
Correct, we only had $16,499.33 in the ARPA funds.
Is the defibrillator on here?
Good question.
I don't see one. And I don't know how often you have to replace them.
I don't see it.
But are they normally just a budget line item?
For $42,607 total for defibrillator, I would not think that that would be a
Right.
budget line item.
Yeah.
And then the final amount out of that 83,000 was $48,225 for replacing the pump on tank 1. Gray stated she would rather see the fire department only use funds they have, holding them accountable to their numbers. Gray did not like the idea of using the bottom idea, which is in line.
Okay, and that
So what-
26,107 was, the 87,96 was for flooring, the 26,107 was for the tank
No,
replacement?
the defibrillator. The
Oh,
balance
that's
of
right,
the defibrillator.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
Because
sorry.
16, $499 came from ARPA towards the defibrillator,
And then the 48 is the pump and the tank,
replacing the pump on tank one.
just the pump.
That's what it sounds like.
That was a water pump, right? It's not like your car water pump, it's a pump for the tank to get fire water out of it. It's a big pump.
$48,000 pump.
Yeah,
So,
48,000.
so ARPA is said to be used on that tank, on tank number one, so
No.
is that actually not?
ARPA was only on the defibrillator.
So I'm just on the
What are you looking at?
purchase of the tank.
What line number?
So that is
2005
48.
International Tank?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so what, were there ARPA funds used to offset it?
Yeah.
Actually,
No,
the
no.
20
No,
That-
ARPA funds were not.
Okay, so we need
Okay.
to cross ARPA off of that spreadsheet, because it says ARPA
Oh.
under
Where?
offset source. In the offset source column
For that,
for that 4-tank one. Because I think when they thought it was gonna be only $25,000, I think they thought they were gonna use the ARPA funds, use the remaining ARPA funds to do that and then only have a 10K. But when it came in at 48 as opposed to 25,
yeah,
they switched.
so they took, I have that, it looks that they took unexpended fund balance, is that what that
Yeah, and then over
category
in the-
falls into? Is that exactly what's that called for the end of the year surplus? Or they took it from the general fund? So then.
They may have taken it from the general fund before the end of the year.
Yeah. So I voted against that.
So,
It passed 2-1, me voting against doing that.
so should we change that from unexpended to general?
General fund?
Let me see.
Okay.
Let me see how exactly how it, expenses to be encumbered, so,
So that's the general fund.
yeah.
Because they can't encumber money from the unassigned fund balance until they hold like a public meeting like they did last night.
Okay.
And they have to specifically say it's coming out of the unassigned fund balance.
So, the gist of it is, I don't recall exactly that is general fund or whatever, but the gist is that there was money left over in the budget as of December 23rd.
Right.
So it was used for some major projects.
Before the year expired.
And I feel like at one of the selectmen meetings, Mr. Brooks was talking about the radios that he has to replace.
Yeah, 20 portable radios.
Yeah, okay, and that is this year.
Yeah, I have it as, yeah, I have it as 2026, but I also had it highlighted because I wasn't sure.
But I don't have his budget information with me. I thought he put that in.
Because I think I put it, so in his document, in his data, he did not put 2026.
What did he
Okay.
put?
But I think because it had been talked about, that I put it in there and flagged it with a highlight.
Like, is this correct? That's what the highlighted question mark is this correct?
Yeah.
Did he
Okay.
put anything in that cell?
No,
He left it blank.
correct.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I need to start bringing the budget stuff with me too, so that we can. Because I thought when he was with us on Tuesday, he talked about, that money being in the budget.
What money?
Putting the money to replace the radios in the budget.
Oh.
So I don't know though, let me go back and check.
I can pull up,
Do you have a copy of his budget?
I have the drawdown. But
they're $30,000, should they be in the CIP?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just the budget.
So radio repairs,
So if that's, but if that's 20 radios, they're only 1,000, a little over 1,000 apiece.
Mm.
So they wouldn't necessarily be in the CIP.
You
They're
have to
not
replace
over
them as a
the-
group, but, yeah. If he's looking, 20 at once,
Just because of the size of the expenditure. I mean, maybe there's different acquisition rules that he's gotta go through, but again, it doesn't hurt to have it in both places.
Yeah.
And we can, highlight this one and say, if it's in his budget, that we can say it's coming out of the operating budget.
So, as of November 4th, his total budget, approved budget is $165,000.
What do you mean approved budget? For 2025 or for
Yep.
submission for 2026?
2025. The
Okay.
2025 approved budget is $165,750. He has 104 remaining in it, but 44,500 is going to go to the members, the volunteer firefighters at the end of the year.
And plus some other stipends that are at the bottom. His as fire chief is not fully expended, that has to be, he gets that fully expended. He's only taken, I think, half of it, and,
No, it's taken 20 of it, 20,000,
Oh, maybe.
25,000 so far.
So anyway, but there's still some other expenses. But he wasn't taking it out of the 2025 budget, he was gonna take it out of he was entering it into his 2026 budget.
I think T is right. I think he mentioned using his unspent budget, because he still has, out of 104, you take out the 44, and you're still
We
at
gotta
60.
take out about 50.
Yeah, so he's still got 55 then. So, I know. Budgets should be tighter and stuff planned better.
But this has been consistent with that particular budget.
I think going back at least 5 years, it's always been 50,000 under.
Approximately 50,000.
So we don't have a dollar amount on the portable radio replacement. Actually, I don't know where I got 20 from. I'm not seeing 20 in the thing, but.
It's not definitive, is what you're saying, it's 30. Oh, purchase before offset, yeah, so that's 30, right? Yeah. And I feel like if he's going to have to replace them all together anyway, probably, and then he only has in his budget 2,000 for repairs, like that's fine, but over here,
Oh, it is 20, that's right.
it seems like that this is a good place for it to be kind of separated out.
Well, especially if you're buying them all at one time. If you're
Yeah.
buying them one here, one there over the course of a year, that's different. But if you're gonna make a mass purchase for 20 of them at a single time to get them all programmed and replaced all at the same time, then, yeah, I think it being in the capital improvement plan makes sense.
Yeah.
And like I said, then the funding warrant budget line or grant column at the end, it shows budget, if he truly budgeted for the money to do that.
And you're saying it
I don't
really
know.
wasn't.
It wasn't in 2025, it wasn't budgeted. So then what would end up happening is if they make the decision and then the selectmen approve it, that he can spend part of his $50,000, then we would just, it's not general fund, it's his budget line. One of his budget lines, his bottom line budget. I have a sort of an issue if we continue to do that on a yearly basis. And it's, whether it's 20,000 or 50,000, 55,000, whatever it is, that's money that you're collecting from the taxpayer ahead of time
Without saying what you're gonna use it for.
without saying what you're gonna use it for, without the voter having an opportunity to vote and say, yes, I want you to spend $150,000. Well, clearly you didn't need to spend $150,000 or whatever it is, you have 50 left over. So why did we vote to authorize you to spend that if you have it left over? Now, I get some of the things have to be sort of guesses on his part with regard to, like when we were talking about his emergency management budget, which is not on here. I don't know if the emergency management folks need anything, but, you know, he has been putting $1 in for the fuel for propane for the emergency generators, or the backup generators. And I said to him, well, can't you go back and look at the last couple of years worth of drawdowns and estimate on average how much you've used in fuel and put that number in, so it's a better representation of the actual budget, instead of putting in $1 and now we're kind of under budgeting for that particular line because you put $1 in instead of $3,000. You know, maybe it's only $3,000 for the fuel for it to run. So trying to get department heads to more accurately specify the numbers in their budget has been, you know, an ongoing conversation with them to continue to make them understand how best to do that. So we'll see.
It would be easier if he were here, I think, so I'll send him an email and see if he can come to the next one.
Yeah.
But I'm also mindful of when, and I know you guys are kind of working off of this as we go, but when would it be helpful to have a completed report for both of your
For the boards.
committee? Yeah, your boards.
I think ideally, we want this as wrapped up as it's gonna get by the end of December,
Right.
as we go into budget cycle. You know, again, so folks.
As we go
can
into
plan
public
budget versus
hearings
CIP
and, yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking at this, so when do we have a meeting? School budget, when do we have a meeting in December? Why isn't it on here? Didn't we have a meeting scheduled for December?
Think so.
The
December
Fourth.
4th, right?
I was gonna say,
December 4th and
something-
December 18th, both at 9:30.
See, so I think that, so if it's at December 4th, town meeting, and then you said the other one is when, December 15th,
18th, I think?
18th?
I think, hold on, let me go back.
Which is
Yeah,
2
the
weeks.
4th and the 18th.
I think on the 18th, we need to be, yeah, and what does that look like? Is that we approve what's on here and have recommendations to the Board of Selectmen
In the planning board.
and the planning board?
Yep.
In
Well,
the
I mean, the
report.
planning board can get it, but they've disavowed themselves of the CIP, so it's really
Yeah.
just the selectmen.
I'd like them to
They can look at it.
review it at least.
Yeah.
Because the next part, once we kind of have all this purchase planning data in, and look at the DPW, beautiful in there. Then we go to, okay, you know, they've given us approximately how much, you know, the total is after any offsets and with interest. And they want to replace it in 2029, so we start, you know, dividing 92,000, whatever, by 7 years, starting in 2029, and I plug those numbers into the rest of it, and then as we're looking at these other subsequent pages, we're looking at every year what we're gonna be hit with.
And you put this in.
Yeah.
And this one,
That's changed because, so like some of this has come out, so let me look at because I was just taking stuff out of DPW that they were, kind of saying, okay, no, we can move that ahead. So that's actually down from 1.7 million to 685,000, because that is including, again, I've got the fire department stuff that he had mentioned, he wanted 2026. There's a lot of that, and then the DPW truck, the impact to the warrant is the full price of the 365,000, because we have to purchase that truck outright, and then we get reimbursed from the grant.
Right.
So the impact to the warrant is the
The
cost
full
of the truck.
price.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's why I have 365,000 on that. And then, the other items at this point are a $250,000 for a refurbished ambulance.
Okay, so we don't have wanting to purchase a refurbished ambulance to replace 4E1. What is 4E1? We don't
Our
have
old
that.
ambulance, we used to have one.
Right, but we got rid of it.
Yeah,
So why we don't have an ambulance?
because they regret, because of what we were, been talking about the ambulance bills and being
So
able to
I'm-
I'm not saying I'm
so-
for it or against it, I'm just saying that was the history of why it might be ending up back on our laps.
So we have it in the CIP to sell 4E1.
We
which is the
don't have
2005
it.
Huh?
We don't have 4E1. It's gone. We don't have a truck. We don't have
When
an
was it
ambulance.
sold?
We sold it, they,
Years
it's been
ago.
years ago, a couple years, well, not years and years ago, cause I remember being
So
at.
these 5 years.
I have a
3 to 5 years.
2005 GMC,
It's
four
gone.
engine one on the CIP, and Chief Brooks started as to sell it.
It's sold,
It's been sold. It's gone.
it's been gone for a while.
What number?
We're here. We're looking
Mine
here.
is 45.
It's 39.
He said it in the last meeting,
Okay.
the selectmen's meeting or whatever that one was that we were at, they all blend together.
Because he added to his budget, he added something to his budget, I think for the ambulance or something. And I said, so is this, or maybe it was this, and I just said, so are we doing our own ambulance service or are we supplementing? And he said, we would be supplementing to the Action Ambulance contract.
So here's my question. Who's approved that?
That is his proposal.
To whom? The town or just to the selectmen?
It, and I only caught it because it was in the CIP, because there was,
Right, because there's nothing mentioned in his
And
budget.
I don't necessarily need, I didn't read that it was next year.
It says
It's a year.
2026.
I know, I don't, well, I'm not really in agreement with most of those years that are on there, because I think they're way too soon. You gotta divide everything by 3,000 people, that's all we have.
so hold on, then there was. Hold on, I'm trying to work. So,
He was talking about how it hasn't been working out and the ambulance bills are expensive for people and
Yes.
sometimes they
Choose
don't
not
want
to use it, yeah.
use the service, yeah.
right, they would
Yeah.
rather not purchase, they would rather not call 911.
Well, because they don't want to pay the
Avoid paying
$4,000 bill. They don't want to pay the supplemental bill. That all changes this year.
Legislation passed that they're not, it's not
They
changing.
can't do that.
So,
Right.
but then there's the concern because, the ambulance company said that they only anticipate losing $40,000 to $50,000 a year from our contract, or, I don't know if it was per town. They anticipate only losing that much money with the new legislation. However, the 8 individuals that I'm aware of that got ambulance bills in the past year and a half, 2 years, each bill was $4,000.
Yeah.
So,
That's 50.
that's
That's
only
only
the people
32.
who I've spoken to, right, and that's the people, just people I've spoken to, there are however many townsfolk out there. And then you, within the 6 towns total,
Well, I
who are
don't know.
being faced with these bills. And
Yeah.
people said, well, they don't pay the whole amount, you negotiate it down, which of course is mind-boggling to me. that
Well,
they're
I
doing.
think every single thing in the medical, I think you and I talked about it the other day, because I'm barely insured. So every time I get a medical bill, I just call and be like, what do you really want? And it's literally 30 to 50 to 75% less. And you just pay it. So it's actually cheaper to not have insurance and just pay your bill.
And the penalty.
No penalty.
There's supposed
No,
to
you
be
get
a
a,
penalty.
if you pay your bill, your medical bill, and when you get it, they will literally give you between 30 and 70% off.
No, I get it. Not that penalty. The penalty to the federal government for not having.
That went away. For not having insurance,
Yeah.
for not forcing you to pay a private for-profit entity, yeah, that went away. Yes, there's no fine anymore. That's
All right.
gone.
All right, so anyway,
So are we looking at $250,000?
I mean, maybe it gets to stay on there, but there's no way that I think that I would, unless somebody can show me justification and rationalization and a cost-benefit analysis for why we need to supplement the ambulance service just because people didn't want to pay the,
And
pay
we're
the
holding
extra.
the ambulance service accountable, so.
right, so
So,
I don't understand. Because not only then are we buying a refurbished ambulance, you need staff to man it.
You have to make sure you have, because there are laws who can ride on an ambulance and who can drive it,
Yeah.
and what qualifications they
Yes,
have. Not about
Absolutely.
driving, but their medical.
Yeah, training's
Right,
what.
whether they're
so-
EMT basic, EMT
We'll have to ask
advanced,
them. Yeah, I feel
paramedic,
like we
whatever.
Probably shouldn't look too hard at the.
And they're
front
kind
stuff
of-
until we can ask for clarification.
When I worked with the fire department on the fire truck, it is very restrictive actually for moving an ambulance with a patient in it on who can be on it and whether or not you have that qualification.
Yeah, because if something
It's kind of-
happens, somebody's life is at stake.
I know, but it's restrictive and it's kind of hard to, in an emergency situation, to make sure you have an ambulance, you spent the money on an ambulance, but did you retain your volunteer? Did you retain that personnel?
And do they, and
Yeah.
have they met their training?
Yeah, and are they readily available at most calls?
Especially if they're all volunteers.
And he said that there was an EMT, right? Somebody was
Yeah.
trained.
There is somebody
We have
that's
three, we have three that are,
people?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, Chief Brooks himself, one of our volunteer firefighters, Dina, and Mike Morrow.
Yes, I think those were the three.
Those are the three that are just went
That's
underwent.
yeah, at the end of October, they.
Okay. So,
So anyway, so yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot.
Ambulances are also a lot more frequent than fires, so that would require our folks to be on call more frequently, and, anyway. I feel like we shouldn't even look at the rest of the fire department stuff until we have Chief here to fill out the rest of the information.
Okay.
do you want me to meet with him to go through this so we have it before the December 4th? So that we can go over this, because if we have to get a report to your boards before the end of December, that leaves us one more meeting to get it done.
Right, which means, I mean, if you wanna meet with him to sit down and go through the numbers and fill this stuff out, and then he comes on December 4th to answer any questions.
Yeah.
And then updating down to the police stuff, so Sharon was kind enough to get in touch with Chief Hayford and find out that, or, we were able to track the 2025 recently purchased Tahoe was warrant article 8 from 25 obviously.
Right.
And then the 2022 Chevy Tahoe Cruiser that I have noted as paid outright was warrant article 13 from fiscal year 2022. And then we were trying to figure out how the 2021 Chevy Tahoe was purchased.
Yes,
And digging through minutes, and I think Chief provided information,
right,
is that it was just like we talked about for this other stuff, the defibrillator and stuff. It was purchased outright at the end of the year, from encumbered funds.
right, so that 5-year through 2026 is
Inaccurate.
inaccurate.
So I've just updated that now.
And the 2019 Dodge Charger 5-year through 2024, that was paid off early, he told me. That's why we weren't seeing any of those notes payable amounts. We would have had to go back further, because they paid it off early.
Okay. So it's a 5-year through 2024, but paid early. How-
Paid in 2022 or 2023. I'd have to go back and look,
Okay,
or ask Linda.
all right. So the mileage on the new one is obviously.
And then there were 3 cars that were acquired that year. Where's my,
Yeah, in 2022.
yeah.
So the 2019 Charger was also acquired that year, right? Or no, it
No.
was another one that was already, oh, it was the Silverado that was.
The
just sold.
Silverado that's now gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. All right, so then the next steps are, Chief has a, I think is he 7 or 8 years replacing?
He's gonna move to 8 years.
Yeah, so 2025 plus 8 is 2033. All right, so it's 8, that's 8, okay. So then, we do have the estimated purchase price for those, for the replacements in 2027, 29, 30, and 33. We don't have yet expected offset or anticipated
Right.
interest or, we don't have any
So
of that detail
What
yet.
what I didn't get a chance to talk to him about was, what doesn't make sense to me is that if in 2027 to replace, now, his his goal is to replace any vehicle he replaces now with a Chevy Tahoe Cruiser, or Chevy Tahoe.
Yeah.
And it becomes the police cruiser.
Yeah.
So if we're buying basically the same vehicle, but we're buying it in 2027, 2029, 2030, and 2033,
Yeah.
I don't see necessarily how we go from 70,000 to replace the Charger to 60,000.
I'm gonna guess, that because the Tahoe equipment can go from truck to truck, and that when we buy a Charger, we're gonna have to buy the extra
We're
equipment.
not, well, yeah, we're not replacing it with the Charger, and the Charger equipment cannot be reused.
Exactly, that's why I think there's more of an increase, because they
Okay.
need to purchase
Okay, that
and
makes
to
sense.
outfit it. So,
Because we're not doing the upfit, well, I mean, we already have the equipment to upfit with, we're
The
just
other
paying a
ones.
labor charge to get it moved.
alright, so then the things we don't have at this point is
We don't have what's,
offsets, like we're
right.
gonna do trade-ins and stuff like that.
right. I did ask him if he had ever considered using, grants, and he said, good luck finding grants for police vehicles, they don't do them.
Really?
He said, if you want me to get you a big SWAT truck, I can. I said, well, that would be totally cool. Run the
If it's
guns on
free.
that. I'll take it.
If Volkswagen's paying for that too.
But he said no, from the state, yeah, there's no, and that's predominantly where they buy these trucks from. The state has a contractor that they work with, who is a vendor, who goes out and gets all of these cars, and then in November of every year, they release the list, basically, and you can not bid on them, but you can put your marker in for one of them. And so one of the things we talked about was the discussion of how to start moving that process along in November, or maybe, now for next November, that in this March, we do the estimate and a warrant article or whatever it is, to get the money, so that in November, when that list comes out, we can snap up that car. The other thing that I think we recommended to him the last time when he came in, was setting up a police
ETF.
ETF, actually two of them, one for equipment and one for vehicles. So that there are two police ETFs, so that, like, bigger equipment items could be.
Well, isn't it is it the capital reserve fund that has to move money, you have to go to town meeting?
The ETFs, well, the ETFs are set aside for a purpose.
The
But
ETFs
they-
are capital reserve
They are,
funds.
But then but then the selectmen are
Think.
typically assigned as agents to expend. So throughout the year, when the town says, okay, we just put $80,000 in an STR one, that the select board are agents to expend, so as the year comes around and we get bills, from legal bills, then we don't have to go back to town meeting for every bill, we just pay only as much as has been put in the.
Yeah, my personal opinion is that every department should have to come in before the town for every vehicle purchase.
For a vehicle purchase, yeah, because
Yes.
it's a significant amount.
Not just show up, oh, we have this extra car now, because that's not only
Yeah.
expensive, but in people's heads, hey, I
What's
know
that?
we employ 7 people and now we have 10 trucks, what's going on? People
And
do
here's
that
why
math.
that makes sense. If there's a plow truck and a grader, so you don't use them all.
No,
Right.
but that's why you'd have town meeting to approve that actual physical thing.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's what this
Yeah.
final report will help with too.
Right.
So this will be in a report format with a picture, with the description,
Yeah.
easy to understand, a reason why
Right.
and what needs to happen next, so
Right.
that everyone's not like,
So if-
what's going on?
Sorry.
that's
Ostensibly, when this gets approved and then gets approved by the voters, you have given them permission to buy that vehicle, because it's listed on here.
Okay,
So they wouldn't necessarily have to go back and have a special meeting. The selectmen would probably have a meeting just like they did last night to
Right.
commit to sign the check, to take that money out of the ETF. But you
Right.
wouldn't need a town meeting,
Right.
because you've already approved all the line items
Right.
that went into making that up, and the year and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If it's different, if it has to come out on a different year, earlier or something like that, then I can see coming to town meeting. But if the town folks approve the CIP, then they've ostensibly approved the permission to purchase what's on there.
Right.
And then, so the next thing I would say, looking at the police, if you wanna flip over to page 2?
The next
No,
page. Page
Yeah,
36.
purchase planning, or even flip over to page 3. And we'll look at the cruisers, or whatever page.
The cruiser, they're on 4.
Okay, there we go, page 4. So I put in green things, I filled those cells in green, just so we could see he wants to, purchase another one in 2027. So we're gonna have payments starting in 2027. So then that will be, whatever, if we do a 7-year lease, 5-year lease, we will then have new payments for 5 or 7 years.
That go
And then
in
the-
this chart.
Yeah, and then the next one, he wants to purchase in 2029,
And
so
then
that's the
2030.
start of another payment, and then 2030, the start of another payment. So that's kind of the next step.
Could
Is
we
plugging those numbers
save
in.
for, oh wait, maybe you showed that on the other one. Could we show how much to save prior to, so that we don't have to lease it?
Yeah,
Okay.
like so offset, this is where we kind of plan the offsets. If we can plan the trade-in, that is gonna take that dollar amount down. Like Dave gave us all the, trade-in sale values, all of that for the DPW. So we were able to look and see, okay, we know a new one might cost this, here's our anticipated offset, here's the source of it, it's a trade-in, it's a grant, the subtotal, so in the end, we have, column S is the total cost including interest. That's the hit right there. And then how are we gonna fund it? We look at, okay, we're gonna do a warrant and kind of do a one-time funding, and then it just rolls out on, as a lease, if it's a one-time funding, it hits the 2026 warrant, but then it's a 7-year lease that we're gonna split over 5 years. Or we have purchased police cars in the past with a warrant that just, we're giving you $55,000 to buy it outright with no interest. So that's kind of where the end part, sort of like column S, T, U, and onward, are, all right, now we know how much we're gonna need each year. We're gonna know, can we avoid interest by either doing it all by warrant or, putting away into an ETF. So that's kind of the next steps.
And it doesn't seem like, oh, okay, so 60,000, in the grand scheme, it doesn't seem like that much, but then we have everything else that we are also trying to save for, so it's like,
So look
even
at some of
that
these bottom
car,
numbers.
maybe not outright, we save like 20 per year, and then buy
Right.
it outright.
So additional offset, so when we look at the form, which I think I gave you guys updated ones, or no, did I give you the updated ones?
It's like, this is gonna be messy, like this year itself is going to be messy,
Yeah.
but hopefully we'll straighten it out a little bit here so that it's not as rocky for the boards in the coming years.
So what I did here was I expanded the offsets, because before I just had like a line for grants and then kind of a fill in a like blank thing. But I spelled it out because typically our 3 offsets are gonna be grants, trade-ins, and sale of equipment. So I wanna make sure they're looking at can I get a grant, can I also do a trade-in of the old one, or can I sell it outright on the municipal and make a little money? So that's kind of where you break out all the offsets.
Can I show, I'm gonna hold this up, can you see this? Cause I feel like
Zoom in.
sometimes we're up here and we're talking about all of this paper, and this is what we're talking about. So this is the analysis form that went out to each department head that Joy put together. And this is the second draft of it. And basically, we're having each department head fill this out for every single expenditure, or future new one that they think they're gonna need. And then that influences this master spreadsheet that the select board
Actually,
and
Okay.
Yeah.
the ABC have, that they're working off of.
So they basically, the form is basically, okay, what year do you need to start, what year are you planning on hitting us first with the budget of it? Give us a description, and then what offsets are you gonna find for it? Are you gonna find a grant, are you gonna find a trade-in, you can sell some equipment? Then the next is, okay, what's the cost to repair it? What's the cost to rent it? What's the annual cost if we out-serviced it, or if we outsourced it? And then what's the cost to replace it as equipment? So we really want folks to look at all of these options, because as they're looking at the chipper, they've changed track, they've decided, oh, you know, what, we don't need to replace the chipper, we can get one to rent. So that was a
So that
really
went from
great
a
thing.
$90,000 potential
Oh, I
bogey
knew that, yeah,
to now
right.
0. We don't have to replace it. We
So
can,
that
we
went
can,
around a little.
and he's like, we don't even need to rent it right now because it's working fine.
Yeah,
Yep, so that was a really great piece, to make, you know, they really looked at that and went, yeah, you know what, we're analyzing, we don't need it. And then the bottom 2 lines, okay, so now we've got the initial price, what's the add up of all those offsets, what are the sources, what's interest rate, total cost, and how are you planning on funding it, warrant article ETF. And then at the very bottom is the annual cost, like, so what is it going to be, year 1, year 2, year 3? So we can kind of put that all in there. So this really, and this is, we're also made that available to the public, because folks have come to the board and they, I wanna pave this section of road, well,
Yeah.
you gotta, you know, like, do the homework and find out, you know, how much it is and stuff like that, so that's like step 1, is if you want something, you need to do a cost analysis and then bring it. And
Yeah.
then, you know, help you decide, did you wanna rent, can you find a grant?
Do we have more questions, or do you guys have more questions on the police category?
No, we just need a little extra information, chief.
Okay. Sharon, you
Yeah, I can-
talked with him originally, do you wanna go back
Yeah,
to him with?
tell me what information specifically do we need from him?
So it doesn't mention, we don't have mileage, or we don't need mileage on that,
What sheet are you looking at?
I'm looking at this
What
first.
page?
Oh, 2,
2.
and,
Just the planning piece of it, I think.
Does he get do all the vehicles in town
I believe have.
are in iWork, so it should have an iWork rating that he can get from Dave,
Yeah,
right? So that,
Yeah,
And
I would
then
just
his
wanted to see if he could, just the
Priority.
offsets, columns O through T.
and on that purchase planning piece.
Yes.
And go
and
through.
he wasn't sure, so the source, oh, I'm sorry, no, he had it. 18,000 for the 2025.
Yeah, so that actually would go, that would change, because we used 18,000 to purchase it, so I'm gonna delete that now because
Because we have it.
we have it, so
Okay.
delete. And then the library doors have been done, so that's also a delete.
And then so library paving,
The
oh yeah,
parking lot
that's on
paving.
there.
And Sloan sent me an update that the roof over the children's section is actually looking good for another 5 years.
Okay.
So I have a question. You were just saying delete. You didn't really delete those lines, you just hid them, right?
Well, I deleted the purchase planning for things that we already have. Things that we just got, things that are brand new. So for example, the Chevy Tahoe Cruiser, honestly, we would need a different price for purchasing that, because that was it's all right. There was a line of the Silverado that we sold, where that information would have gone in the Silverado. And now that we have the new piece of equipment, we'll have to figure out going forward for 2033, what's gonna be the purchase price.
Right. Okay, so but we do have the Silverado
Yes.
line, that was,
It's there but hidden. I hide the sold ones. And hidden is in, just don't show, I just don't show it with them.
yeah.
I filter it.
Okay, so you want me to ask him about all of these numbers?
Yeah, iWorks, and then any offset.
And then
Yeah.
O through T.
And then,
Page.
so we had a question on general government, who's responsible for that?
Well, wouldn't it be financial admin? Would it be them, or would it be Linda?
I think it's typically Linda who kind of did, she brought the flooring project to the select board, she brought replacing the town sign up front to the select board. So I think primarily.
So can we take that off the list, cause it says future, and they were out there today?
Yes, that happened fast,
Yes.
yes.
What did it happen out of?
General fund, right?
Yeah, the general government line.
There are multiple lines under general government, supplies, equipment, repairs.
Do you remember?
Look.
It'll be in the drawdown.
Yeah.
We'll find it then.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's done. So that doesn't need to be there.
So is that just okayed by the select board, or was that in the budget for,
Linda
Yeah.
said she had room in the general government buildings budget. I don't recall exactly which line, but there was a purchase rec and, oh wait, do I have that? I might have that. But yeah, there was a purchase rec, to provide it in the purchase rec, I believe said which line specifically. The purchase recs have, what is your current amount in the budget to show that you have budget left to do it?
okay,
Walmart has matching grants for police cruisers. And they will give out 70 to 80,000 grants a year. So that's, and they, so if you raise 10,000, they'll give you 10,000. If you raise 5,000, they'll give you 5,000. Just reading government relations page.
Would you send,
thanks, Nicole.
What?
would you send that or print it out or something for chief and?
Yeah, I mean, it's on my phone. I'll just text it to myself or you or whatever. That's
Yeah.
fine too.
Alright, so she probably took it out of the town projects, line, which was still almost $10,000 under budget.
Do we know what that cost?
It was about 2,000.
2,000 to replace the sign, so
Yeah.
that's all.
And they're not just replacing the sign, like they're revamping. He was out there sanding the
Sanding,
posts
yeah.
and stuff, so. Cause I know, I looked at it and said, $2,000 to replace the sign, that seems pretty hefty. But it's not just putting, putting up a new piece of a sign, it was like refurbishing it.
So what about the vinyl siding? Do you know anything
Temple,
about that?
I think that's on a later, future list kind of thing.
Okay, so do we need to go back to Linda, cause when I asked her, she said that it goes to the selectmen and our committee,
Okay.
just to do it, but I'm not in there, so I just didn't wanna miss something.
So
That
do
they
you wanna
would-
put
they
it on
would
your
need.
list, in your selectman gray hat, and bring it up and go through it with them to see
Yeah.
what, I mean, some of these, all the ETFs, they're all gonna be done by warrant article. So until we have what the warrant article is and what potentially people might be requesting, you don't know what those numbers are. There's some, you know, I can see the groundwater remediation and the historical society. And the historical society may be a recurring 10,000 every year that they do.
As donation,
No,
Just a-
they get a taxpayer money goes into the ETF
okay,
to fix the historical society stuff. Like they put new windows in and they painted it, and they needed a new roof. They were putting on a new roof to protect everything that's inside. Doesn't make sense to paint the inside and not fix the roof if it's gonna, right?
Anyway,
So,
yeah. Okay. And then like the Silver Lake Dam improvement,
Yeah, that's massive.
yeah.
People have quoted that as a $2.5 million.
but that's a
project.
different fund. That's a different project.
Yep.
Yeah, they're looking anywhere between $1.5 million and $2 million to do the dam improvement.
Can I just say something about that?
Yeah.
That whole discussion has happened in a very small vacuum.
Oh, yeah.
And we have not reached out to anybody about that.
That's where
So
that's where you need to talk to the Silver Lake Dam people, the SLAM people.
Right, are the SLAM doing the dam? I don't know if
I
they're
don't
doing, think they're
Isn't
doing.
there's a,
That's different from the watershed management.
Yeah, so Silver Lake is
There's a
a
committee.
state lake, the dam is town property. There are some funding available through the state, I've heard. There are people in town that might have the know-how how to fix it. But I'm a big proponent, I didn't know where.
well, there's a study right now.
Right,
So there's the study that we're looking, or did fund, to get that report as to what do we need to do, what actually has to happen, and how much is it gonna cost.
Right, but I'm just saying that, I would say that overall, our townspeople don't even know this issue exists.
Yeah.
And there may be people that can be like, I'll do it, you know what I mean? That's just
Yeah, sure.
what I have found.
I guess my issue is, this has been on numerous agendas for the Board of Selectmen, so.
But look what happened with this week, when we put it out there, when we're trying to do public outreach, we filled a room last night.
Yeah.
That's what, my point is, we need to get that information disseminated and see if anybody says, do you know I'm a retired dam builder? I'll tell you what, I could do, I still have the equipment, whatever.
Plus, people are moving in and out from Massachusetts and stuff all the time.
Well,
so.
I'm just saying, we got results by outreaching, and I think that
Well,
really
then
helped.
who's gonna take control of that for the select board?
I have been trying to,
No, like somebody
Like,
needs
put
to
it on the
stand up.
agenda
No,
and
not
all
even
that.
that. I mean, somebody needs to stand up and say, you know what? We need a better social media presence
We
to
do.
let the town know what's going on.
Yes.
Here's what, and posting it on the website isn't gonna help. That's
no,
not how.
I belong to all the, even the
Yeah.
Google group, I don't know if you're
Right,
aware.
the Madison
the
Boulder. Yeah, I do
And
too.
that, and that, there's a lot of people on that, I wanna say it was.
Right, there's a,
Back in the day, it was like 2,000.
right, there's a real lot.
We have 2,900 residents.
Well, and there's people who don't do Facebook.
Right.
But do the Madison Boulder so
Yes.
that they can get that news.
Yes,
As opposed to like, I don't wanna be on Facebook.
right, I
So,
agree 1,000%.
Whom among the selectmen
I would love to do it.
then did stand up and tell them that,
Yes,
right? Say, look, we need to get better participation. And one of the reasons we're not getting better participation is we're not communicating enough to our constituency. So I'm gonna take the social media piece of this and we'll discuss it as a line item at every meeting. What do you want out on social media this week? As a
or
result
what do you
of
agree
this?
to? They may not all want it. You
What do you
know, but we
agree
have
to?
to agree a little bit about,
Right.
please, we'd like your 2 cents on your experience on these matters to help save the town money.
And if there aren't any of those questions, here's what your Board of Selectmen did this week.
Synopsis, yeah,
Yeah, here's what we did this week.
right.
So, I tried, yeah, I think that's a wonderful idea and I
Because
fully applaud you.
all the meetings I've attended on the dam, where the dam has come up, it was, maybe one person in the audience or maybe whatever that was like, $2 million. Like we need to get a big broad, just like we expect for the trucks, a huge swath of information. I found out somebody I know who lives in town's brother is the new dam inspector for the state. Just by having this conversation like we are right now.
Broken.
Yeah, exactly,
where-
yeah.
Oh, because didn't the state condemn it and said you can't even walk across it anymore?
I
That's
don't
what happened.
know if that was the state or that somebody in town did,
No, I think it was the state.
because
I think
it's
it was
not,
the
it's
state.
our property,
Right,
not
but the
theirs.
state inspects it.
Oh, they do, okay.
So, do we go through each of these general government line, like item by item and say, this is who's in charge of this? Like the town hall front porch or the pavilion construction, like how did these line items get pushed forward or promoted or?
So I think it's the responsibility
just
of
sits there.
the select board and to coordinate with Linda, to say what projects are a priority and, how do we wish to fund them? Do we wish to put them on the warrant next year? Do we
I
wish
did
to-
ask about the pavilion because I was like, that could be expensive, right? And
Yeah.
but they said that's going to be funded through Old Home Week.
What
What does that
pavilion?
mean?
That means the money that we bring in for Old Home Week, which is probably pretty significant, we have,
Nobody knows.
yeah, but,
Right.
It's in the
it gotta be somewhere.
auditor's annual report,
yeah, so
But-
then that's gonna fund that's what I was told at a selectmen meeting.
high level.
I think when we were looking at the ball field lights, we were walking by and I said, how is that getting built? And they said through that.
So then who is, to Tia's point,
Yeah.
who is the,
Oh, great, thank you.
who is the point person for the committee to manage?
The possibility of getting that done.
Yeah.
I don't know who the point person is, I walked by the sign, I had never noticed it before, future home of the Madison Pavilion. I was like,
I think that was up for this past Old Home Week.
Yeah, I didn't get to go to a lot of that, so, unlike usually I go to a lot of it, and I went to like one thing, maybe two. So, and only one was on the field. But I thought it was a great idea, that's a great way to raise money for that, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. I feel like it's a huge project though, and like it's one of those ones that I don't know where it started, but I feel like it came off of the old master plan, kind of like the community center and, you know, making Ward a green space completely. And then things changed, and I'm just wondering, there's some things on here that are already, there's already like a fund set up for them, but there's nothing getting added to it. And if nobody's addressing that and moving those,
Things forward.
yeah, those projects forward, they're just gonna sit there forever, and people are gonna be like, why did we even, you know, voice our opinion for the master plan? Why did we come to the selectmen meeting and
So where
try to
is
get
the,
involved?
where is the conversion between, or the, where they come together, the convergence of the master plan committee and the board of selectmen? Do you guys give them a report every month?
Joy does
Master
it,
plan.
right, or
I'm not on the master plan, I'm not on the planning board.
You are, aren't you?
Oh, master plan, I'm getting
Oh,
confused.
the master plan committee?
Yeah.
Jim Eldridge is our rep, so he's been working
Yes, that's right.
on it with us. Yeah, I just feel like people are gonna have more ideas, and I've been getting feedback, and I guess I'm getting a little sidetracked because I saw the pavilion.
No, but there's, like I said,
I'm
there's,
wondering, where does that?
where does it converge? How do
Yeah.
we, because anything that we agree to put in here, we have to bounce it off the master plan to make sure it fits with the vision of the town going forward. And then the selectmen have to figure out, yes, this is something we're gonna do, and start to plan for it in the CIP, or, and update the CIP. So there's a convergence between planning, planning board, master planning committee, board of selectmen, and CIP, and budget.
Yeah.
You know, like those 5 entities probably need at some point to have,
An annual meeting, probably.
or an update.
Yeah, that would be good
Even if
too.
it's a submitted written update, but there needs to be an update as to what's going on.
Yeah, these are the projects, and then who is responsible for
Or at
running
least who you
that?
think is responsible, what
Yeah.
department or what person or.
Cause it's just so broad, general government, okay. It's everything from a pavilion, historical society, the dam, to the, town hall sign.
Yeah, well, it's
It's like,
everything that
well-
doesn't fit in another category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally, it's everything that does not fit in one of the other categories. Yep. Oh. So, so what's the action item on that? What are we gonna do about that?
Yeah, good question.
About general government?
No, well, about these in particular, and the master plan and the Silver Lake Dam.
I think it would have to go to the selectmen,
I agree.
right? Like,
I agree.
selectmen have to figure that out and be like, okay, town hall, things happen at the town hall, the town admins can help with. If it's down in the police department, they can help with that, but whoever that's involving.
So
And
that
then
means it's Linda, because that's where it's gonna
Kate-
default to. Right, it's gonna default
Probably.
to her plate. And what she can delegate to Kate, she probably will, but,
Yeah. But there's gotta be somebody in charge of the actual building for purposes of this, like,
yeah. Oh, this town hall heating system, didn't we just do that because it was an emergency where it broke, so that comes off?
but we should probably
Leave it
have
on there for 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, I guess, yeah, so I guess.
Year to
we would go
replace
back
would
to
be
the selectmen
2045.
With you, Joy, if that's okay, to just say,
General government projects, what do we got?
yeah,
Yep.
who's gonna take each one of those on?
Yep.
I guess, and then that will help us update that. And then we did have the question for Mr. Boyd about the truck, and he said that, for code enforcement, he wasn't expecting anything, big for his department. But I think just
But that was for this year, right?
for this year, so to expand on that, we're looking for 6 years out, and then, I mean, the truck's at 110,000 miles to 2017. If that would get an iWork rating,
It should have an iWork rating already.
yeah,
All the vehicles are in iWorks.
okay, so it should have an iWork, and then, yeah, how, just similarly to
So
any
the-
of the other vehicles.
Yeah, so maybe the priority is 3 or 4, cause it's running just fine, it's a 2017. It, you know, I mean, he uses it, but he's using it, he's not racing to a fire, he's
Yeah.
just driving it the way a normal average human being
But
would.
he's also driving on job sites and construction sites.
Yeah,
Usually, he's not, I don't believe that he's like driving off-road. He's driving up the road and
The
parking on the
driveway.
road and walking, yeah.
Or driveways, yeah.
Or driveways, right, driveways or roadways. Now, you know, there are the hilly ones, they're like Mooney Hill and Bickford or any of those that might be happening, but is that coming down on you?
No, I just heard the speaker pop.
So,
Sounded like somebody was listening. Even though everybody's listening.
right,
It's riveting.
anybody on there, Evan?
4 people.
Hey,
That's awesome.
hi.
Hey, everybody.
So yeah, you know. He may say it's good for another 5 years or 6 years or 10 years. He may-
Right.
we just want.
He only
want that
has
input.
100, yeah, he has 100,000 miles on it, it's a 2017, so in 8 years, we've put 100,000 miles on it. Right, and some of those miles were originally police miles, which was every day.
No, that belonged to the DPW director.
Oh, this one, oh, that's right, this came from DPW, not
Yeah.
the 2015.
Which used it
was-
probably a lot more because I think he took it home to Freedom. You know, it was a further, because the building inspector lives in town.
Right,
The other guy did.
so the
it- yeah, it was
DPW
like-
director,
Yeah,
former
it was like
DPW
15 miles
director
each way, so that's, you know what I mean, that was a lot more miles.
Right. So now, you know, yeah, that vehicle should be able to go 200,000 miles
Easy. I had one and I miss it every day.
without significant, I mean, it looks like he spent $2,300 on it.
Right.
The year before was only 446.
Yeah, which could have been tires and brakes, so.
446?
No, I mean, like, part of that could have been tires and brakes, so
The 23.
not mechanical, so to
Right.
speak, but just wear, you know, regular wear stuff.
Joy, what do you need? Do you need anything else except for or besides the updates that we're going to get to help fill this out?
No, I
So
think
that's what you're
we-
gonna get from Bob, sorry,
Okay,
is these
yeah,
KLNM, that whole, whatever he can give you, once he decides on what year to replace, I mean, if he says this will last another 10 years, or another 8 years, and we put that year in there, he's gotta look to see, okay, let's start filling this piece out, because
yeah,
we wanna be able to save a little bit. We wanna be able to save $5,000 a year for the next 8 years.
Or that car will again come out of something we take out of rotation, maybe it'll be the Dodge, or maybe because originally it was a little tiny Ford Escape.
Right,
That
so
was
we-
somebody else's,
and
Right.
maybe we put that in there.
right?
But when we
Nothing
make that
answered.
decision, we
Yeah.
can, but if we don't make that decision, if there's nothing to
Right.
replace it with, you know, like the Chevy Tahoe from the police cruisers, you know, maybe you can't really convert that, cause those things are.
Well, you
once
don't wanna sit in the back seat of them, that's for sure, cause they're not comfortable.
Once you start, cause
You know
that
about
entire
that.
center console comes out, I mean, I talked to Chief and said, when it's no longer a police vehicle, what does it look like? And he's like, nothing you wanna be in,
Yeah,
so.
it's a great teenager car.
I don't even know about that, but, so anyway, so it may, you know, we may need to actually replace a code enforcement vehicle, but, you know, we
Yeah.
could end up buying a used one
Yeah.
from somewhere, from like Conway or somebody, or,
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, Conway does drive their old cruisers as town cars. That you see their town cruisers, now they say Town of Conway, and it's part of their DPW or their building code enforcement.
Right.
You know, they turn them all, they just paint them all white and write the town of Conway on them.
So,
And then I was just looking down this, and I know we need Chief Brooks to come in, but like the $1 million for the station upgrades and expansion.
yeah,
Um,
way wide, broad swag.
Yeah, like we
I'm not
need
sure
a
there's
lot
anything
for
that tells us. I don't know that he's talked to somebody and said, hey, this is what we're thinking about doing. How much ballpark do you think it would cost? I think this is one of those Paduma ones.
Just, yeah. And then we also had that kind of conversation with Chief Hayford about them needing to possibly move or expand their
Right.
area and what that looks like. So I guess it's a question for, well, back to Chief Hayford, but also to the selectmen.
And master plan. In
And
terms
master
of big
plan.
changes to the fire department, big changes to the police department.
Then that needs to be master plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, I mean, it would be helpful if they, you know, kind of document a little bit more specifically what they're thinking,
Yeah.
you know, what type of repairs, and that helps people kind of think about, okay, what buildings do we have in use? You know, can we remodel versus, you know, some major repairs versus remodel versus additions.
So
Versus like
planning board, master plan.
use
And
part
then,
of
but
the
I think
school.
also the department heads requesting the changes should kind of start with this, and
that
then
would
maybe
spark
type
that.
up, yeah, and maybe even type up a little one pager.
To go with it.
Yeah, this is what needs to be repaired, this is kind of the cost of, you know, same type of stuff, it just might not all fit in that because it's bigger building type stuff, but.
Major
So
changes
we
to town.
we probably really want Chief to add a project.
Yeah.
He's got all the equipment, we want him to add a project line or two.
Yep.
For station upgrades.
Yes, I think,
And he spoke to us about a couple of he shares his evidence locker with the oil tank.
Yeah, that's no good.
And his,
thank you.
I grew up in a small town, oh, that's normal for me.
yeah,
It's
but
just
if it
part of
doesn't-
small town.
Yeah, but if it doesn't have to be, because,
Right.
you know, he gets more room, because he's got evidence he's gotta keep for.
Oh, yeah, for a certain amount of years.
And we have a whole third floor of
Floor.
our town hall.
Yes.
And do we have an elevator?
I feel like we
No,
have,
that's
we actually
not-
have a second and third.
We have a second and a third.
What's
That
the
aren't
second
used.
floor for?
Well, we have the basement for the town meetings and police, then you
Right.
have what we
The
call
first.
the first floor. And then, yeah, there's this entire
There's two
second
more
floor
floors
that's
above it.
finished, I can show you pictures. And then,
Another floor.
but it's
There's
more
an
small
attic.
space.
It's smaller though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Does it have full head height though?
I'm
Well,
not
if
sure.
it doesn't, you can use it for
Move the
storage
storage
and stuff,
up there,
move
yeah.
file cabinets
Yeah.
and things.
Evidence.
Well, like, you know, Mike Brooks was saying that town tax files and all that kind of stuff are in that room in the back. Well, maybe they could be moved to the top,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And put up there, and then we could help Chief have that space for
Right.
evidence and firearms or whatever, and reconfigure it a bit.
yeah.
And we can work with them, or have
Right.
a subcommittee or something, steering committee on these major changes.
But I think that that's part of the master plan.
Yeah, I see it. Planning
Right.
stuff, yeah. Okay.
Wow.
So I was just
Yeah,
looking up
it's-
some statistics and I just wanted to like, because I'm a budget person, just always, like, I always do math one way and then another way. We have just under 1,700 households in this town. It's just a very interesting thing when you divide this by 1,700. So if you ask for $1 million this year, it's extra, it's gonna be equate to like $588 more per household. If it's even Steven, you know, which it isn't, cause you know,
Right, because somehow.
valuable, yeah, but I'm just saying, it's just something I do in my work, is to do the math one way and then back it back out. So there's 1,700 households that have to pay for this.
Where did you get the 1,700 houses?
I Googled how many how many population and then how many households or residences.
Can we verify that through the town clerk?
I would like
That would
to,
be.
I rounded up.
households that pay.
I rounded up,
Okay.
it was 1685 or something. I'm not saying it's but it's probably in around there within 300, you know. that are Madison, New Hampshire house, you know, dwelling units, I guess is the right word, I don't know. 1685 is what.
I mean, we could simply ask the town clerk how many tax records we have.
Right, yeah, that's enough, or just look them up count them, you can count them,
Will it tell you?
yeah. I mean, some will be businesses too, you know, so,
But they
but
still
they still
pay
pay
taxes.
taxes.
Yeah.
There'll be like, not many, but, you know.
You wanna know, you know, what that number is split across the tax base.
Yes, for sure. It just gives a different perspective when looking at my financial
Yeah,
obligations.
I do that, and I think we have a $12 million budget, and we split that across 1,700 households between the school and the town.
Yeah,
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I know.
So in terms of items that we just don't have the data for, code enforcement, car, transfer station, repaving, I don't know the year on that. So we found that from DPW, the fire department stuff, the general government stuff, which I will take up. And then, police department, just the stuff that we didn't have was, you know, kind of filling in the blanks of some of the purchase plan, but then we don't have any detail on the mirror craft boat or the ski trailer.
Will you send it to us like
That
that? I
updated one?
know I can,
For sure.
yeah, I know I can pull that out.
Yeah.
But it might just be nice to have that in a PDF and then can like check box.
Yeah, I can send you the Excel, PDF, all of this stuff.
Okay, thank you. So I think we've gotten through most of our agenda items. 7, not exactly
New business?
new business. So we need more information from fire and emergency, a little bit more from police and Mr. Boyd.
And I'll go, you're gonna do Boyd, I'm gonna do Hayford.
Yep, and then I will go to Chief Brooks as well.
I don't know if the general government.
And general government, Joy. Oh, Joy. I didn't mean to say it like that. Joy. I shouldn't say it.
I'll tell you afterwards,
And
a joke about the Joy thing.
when does the ABC and BOS need this or want this information? We decided end of December.
At the latest.
So it's the
At the
December,
latest.
And we will probably do a report for the town report, for the annual town report, we'll do a write-up as well.
Okay.
The committees used to. So yeah, in years past.
Okay, so, and our meeting is the 18th, so we kind of want to have that then. And then I was asking how else we can help. Is there any other information that we can help the boards with? But I think, Joy, you put that into your spreadsheet, kind of like just projecting how much we'll need, doing the calculations on how much we need to save and what that looks like each year and for what that adds to the taxes. Or could potentially add to the taxes.
that's those totals on page 4,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's per year. That, and this is all very rough estimate right now, right?
Yep.
So,
So some of it is accurate from the notes to leases. Like numbers that are already in there. For example, line 17, the Cat 920 front end loader lease. So the number is lease, the 24,418 from 2024 to 2027 is the actual amount we're paying every year for that lease.
I don't, line 17?
Well, it moved. They moved when we were moving
Tell
stuff
me
around.
what it is. 20, what,
Oh, no, where did it go?
2021, is it?
Where did it go? It moved.
Oh,
Yeah, the
7-year lease.
2021 Cat 920
18
front end
financing.
loader, the 2021 International.
7-year lease.
Yeah, I have the actual lease amounts.
Those are the actual
Okay.
amounts, okay.
So anything that's older, I pulled the actual lease amounts.
When did that lease start, so it started in 2021, or I mean, when does that, you know how on the other ones it says, you know, 7-year lease expires in,
Yep, I have the year purchase created column J, which shows you when it started.
but it doesn't, column J, all the way over here.
Hmm?
Okay, well, cause now I'm shifting between and between. J, 2019, now where is it? Cat, Peter, International.
2021 cap.
Fernando, there it is. 2021.
So we purchased it in 2021 with a 7-year lease,
So
so,
2028.
yeah. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Yeah, so 27 is the last year of the lease.
So do we want to put this into a more, do we want to keep it as is, or do we want to put it into a more like concise report for each board, so you can look at it and be like, this is what we should be saving, or just like
We can
a
do
quick
both. We can,
snapshot?
yeah, we can filter out departments and look at just a department and the numbers there.
Okay.
And we can do the whole big picture. We should be doing both, right?
We should be doing
Yeah.
both.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then I
I mean-
added for the rest of the expenditures, or the rest of the ones that are supposed to start in 26, 27, I went up to, I think, 2034, and put in those green cells, like I did for the police, as to when the payment, or when it's gonna hit us financially.
That's on your spreadsheet, not on.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna send you guys the update.
Yeah, but not on what we have
Oh.
printed.
Right, no, I just added it now.
So it's green cells like this.
While we were chatting.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going back to action items so we can, cause it's 2:45.
Yeah. I'm gonna go get my kids.
Evan's probably hungry.
And so
Tomorrow.
you're like, I'm never gonna be on this duty again.
Right?
So 7D, how do we help department heads organize and advocate for some of these projects? So we kind of went over that just on general government,
Right.
but really picking a point person.
Well-
And until we have the master plan, and we are working with a consultant to do that, we're in the beginning stages of that. That will be a year out, not until we can, probably a year out before we can have the planning board like give that the stamp and say, yes, like let's move forward.
Oh,
with
the
these.
master plan?
Yeah,
Master plan's a year out?
yeah. So the study and the actual report will be, for the first phase, a year, about a year. But maybe we can work to,
Maybe there are pieces that we can
Yeah.
use.
yeah, actually Michelle said that we can adopt it as sections become available. So hopefully we can work on some of the bigger things. And there's nothing saying that we can't start now, like the pavilion's already there. It's just we wanna make sure that it matches up with the vision of the town and the vision of Board Parcel. So we don't wanna just be like, oh yeah, everybody wants a pavilion. Who decided that? Like,
Right, right.
okay, we want a
Well,
pavilion.
and so there's a
And-
plan to have this master plan presented to the townspeople at a town meeting.
Yeah, it would either be a town meeting or a
So-
special
so-
meeting.
Definitely not this March, would have to be the next March.
Yeah.
Right, so
Well, it
for,
would be presented probably in like a year from now, so that folks before town meeting could vote on how they wanna fund things that are.
right, but I'm saying the vote would take place at town meeting.
Well, I think there's just, if you have it scheduled for like a
And it's
meet and
just
greet, sort of, like a
advised.
presentation, just to kind of,
Well, it has to be
Yeah.
approved.
the master plan.
The master plan's approved by the planning board. It's advisory, so what comes from it, we would have to say, okay, yes, we do wanna move forward with creating a plan for Board Parcel or whatever it is. We wanna move forward with the firehouse and the emergency police, or whatever that bigger project is and what that looks like, so that might be a separate study, because it's such a high ticket item,
Right.
but, yeah.
I hope people have 20 more years of life left, because that's what it's gonna take.
I know.
And you do, so, but, okay.
But yeah, okay, so, how do we as a committee help the department heads organize? And I think we've been doing a really good job of that, just we've gone and visited them.
Yeah, and
to
I
do
think
this.
that we continue to do that. We've sort of
Yeah.
broken this up and now we have kind of point people for the different departments and so,
Yeah,
you know, I think we continue to do that. If we need help, if I go, wait, I need help with Chief Hayford to help him understand this, then we reach out to each other, but
yeah.
in the meantime,
And this is
And we're-
advisory anyway, it might
ev-
change.
yeah, everything's covered. So I have DPW, right? Schilling.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to spell my own name. Fire department that's you, Tia, right?
Yep.
General government is Joy.
And I'll reach out to Mr. Boyd.
Library.
Sloan just gave me her stuff. Just
Okay,
gave
so
me
do
her
you wanna
list.
be the point person
Yeah,
for
awesome.
library?
I don't, and maybe they don't have
Police.
it, but rec,
It's under DPW.
parks
No,
and
there's,
rec,
well, rec program is different from DPW Parks and Rec.
and maybe they
Right,
just don't need.
But they don't have, do they have any capital?
Well,
It
things like
usually
this-
comes under DPW, because DPW is gonna end up, it's facilities and structure, and they're the responsible party,
I
right?
don't know, I mean, when it comes to the financing of it, rec purchased the $4,000 soccer goals, from a donation.
Yeah, but that's not a capital improvement.
They need to be replaced in however many years.
Yeah, but that's an equipment line. It's a budget line, it's not a capital improvement line, I don't think, so.
But if they wanted like a rec center
Yeah,
or
that would be,
community center, maybe that
well, that would
would,
probably be general government.
cause it would be a town building
Town
Yeah.
building,
or
yeah.
whatever, okay.
That's always a dream. And can we use spaces that we already have for stuff like that?
I believe the senator reached out about the old mill.
Interesting.
I got an email, CC'd on an email about,
That ground has gotta be so toxic though, because it was a paper mill before it was a lumber mill, and
yeah, I mean,
paper mills are
it could be tested. I would assume if before they left, they would have had to test it.
Oh.
Big assumption. They s-
On,
I mean-
on Chicks, the Chicks.
No,
No,
that was the other one.
Right,
No, the
Oh.
Madison Mill, yeah,
The
yeah.
old Madison Mill right down on,
Yeah.
Not just for us, but for like a multi-cooperative with other towns.
Ooh, like a
that's
YMCA even.
cool.
Yeah, somebody might be interested in developing a site for something like that.
Cool.
maybe they'll put a pool in.
Yeah.
Well, there's a pool at Purity Spring, and anyone can use it, it's
No,
very
I
cheap.
think they've closed it down, you can't, they've closed it to the public, you can't even buy a membership anymore, I don't think.
Really?
That's my understanding.
And off and off, yeah.
But I want like an Olympic size.
Oh, I don't swim in pools, so.
My poor guy
I
just wanna do
fly the
3
ocean.
strokes and a flip turn every time.
Okay, so that's all I have. Number 8, admin, new
Admin.
members? No new members?
Any of you folks who are
I
watching
tried.
on TV, if you'd like to come help us do this,
The meetings will get shorter,
we promise.
and then they're gonna kind of probably go quiet after town meeting for a while, kinda like budget committee.
Yeah.
They'll go quiet
Yeah.
and quiet summer and then kind of revisit
Then
this
start
stuff.
to revamp at the end of August, September, start to come back
Check in on
online.
stuff that we've already got due for next year.
Great. So,
These meetings will get shorter.
no other further business? I make a motion that we adjourn at 2:50, basically. Second, anyone?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 2:50.
So our next meeting will be December 4th at
Oh, sure,
9:30.
sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, okay, 9:30 a.m. Got you.
No backsies.
Well,
It's like I'm out.